hustle, and I,
you know what's funny is that was actually true. So what happened? Did you still hang out with him, or did you beat him?
I hung out with him sometimes. I thought he was an alright kid. But anyway, he wrote to me. And, you know, that's nice. But, you know, I found most people on Facebook or people who are skiing in Denver. And they're skiing in Colorado. And somehow they run across me and say, oh, my God, are you the Tom Martino from Catskill? Are you the one I grew up with?
Yeah, but that's not from that.
Right, that's what I mean. So I only got one connection from that, and that's this guy. Last time I went on it, I looked for people but couldn't find any. It's just really a lame ass. It's really lame. Have you ever even heard of it, classmates?
I've seen advertisements pop up for it.
I've not even.
I don't think I've ever been there.
I don't give a shit. I mean, well, do you care about your old people?
About who?
About people.
You mean people like I might have used to know?
Yeah. Do you care about connections?
Not really.
I care more about my college connections, and I can't remember any of those. There's one guy I'd like to meet. He was rich. He was a rich little brat. He's probably even richer. His dad was the editor, I think, of the Miami Herald.
Oh, that's a big one.
Or Miami News. Oh no, it was. Listen, man. He lived in the guest house. We were on the water. It was the most amazing house I've ever seen in my life. His name was Myers, I think. Myers. Rob. I think it was Rob. Now that I just like to see what they're doing.
Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by American Senate Contact and Unlimited.
From the Bedford Sports Traffic Center, we start off with the good news downtown. That earlier southbound by 25 at Alameda in the left lane has been cleared. All lanes are back open, so good news there. Crews are still working on
I still don't understand this modification that they keep sending me.
Police are on the scene. Travel through that area with caution.
May 11th.
On collision off highway at Hilltop Road and East Meadow Run south of Singing Hills Road. Hilltop is closed. No estimated time of reopening. Avoid the area for now.
Oh my God!
Midpoint weather. Well, going to be a chance of snow the rest of today with a high 36. Right now, 26. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Pete Wagner. 630 K-How.
Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95.
They just keep changing the reservations. It's driving me insane.
It's America's best. Book your exam online today.
Provided by independent optometrists. See store for details.
Time 65 years in business. Happy anniversary to K&H Home Solutions. The best products, installation, and warranty. K&H has what you're looking for. I'm consumer advocate Tom Martino. Such amazing products and special anniversary deals. Soft Light Windows, $650 discount on each one. The only window earning the government's Energy Star rating 7 years straight. Everlast siding, $6,500 off. The most durable color mask.
Timely local news.
$150 off Tropia entry doors purchased with store. The minimum supply. Call for details. 303.
Although I will tell you, these are the ones that get my.
At khwindows.com.
Dad, check your bills, make your lunch, and your laundry is done.
When you care for a loved one, you take care of it. But you're taking care of yourself. Andre Care Doc at aarp.org/care.
They will come to you, show you all the samples, and do all the measuring, and give you an upfront price.
What are you talking about?
I'm just emailing us.
I did the trolleys.
What's that?
I got the trolleys.
Oh, good.
Keeps me to it with a 12K a day giveaway. This is the Troubleshooter Show.
Oh, it's too hot here.
Hurry up.
I got it.
Welcome to the only show of its kind anywhere in the universe. 40 years and climbing, 47 years total in this business, and I love helping people. I love giving recommendations for great products like Panacea Life CBD. Panacea Life, they shortened the name on their labels to Pana. If you see it, it's Panacea Life. And you get those products for 30% off using my name and the promo code. That's Tom. And here's where you go. RealCBDThatWorks.com. realcbdthatworks.com. Welcome to the show, folks. We got a guy who held yesterday I want to get right to. Here's what I want to tell you. Here are the rules of the game. You can call at any time. Anytime you're listening to this. A lot of people do podcasts. So you can listen to us and then call 303-MARTINO. 303-627-8466. If you leave a message, Suzanne will call you back. You don't ever have to hold. In fact, if you call now, you can have her call you back. So we want to make this convenient for you to get help. I know in today's world, we're all impatient, and you don't know where to call, when to call. So 303-MARTINO, pass that name around, put it on next door. Anybody can call for help. Also, while we're on the air, on good old KHOW, and then, of course, our sister station, KRDO, in Colorado Springs, and then we are on the iHeartRadio app, on Facebook, YouTube, and all over the place. You can find us. So our number while we're on the air, 303-713-TALK. But no matter what you call, as far as Martino, it'll brought you to the right place. Chris said a contractor took some money, and that's always a bad thing if they took money and didn't do anything. So let's talk about it, Chris. What's happening, sir?
Good morning, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing okay, man. Sounds like better than you if you lost $850. Did you?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How did it happen? How did it happen?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been doing some home remodeling around the house.
Yeah.
Wife was wanting some new railing done. Out with the old, in with the new.
Yeah.
She went on Facebook Marketplace, saw this guy's work online. Yeah. So anyway, she saw his work online, at Spy Approved. I checked him out, seemed okay. So she put in on Messenger saying, hey, come give us a bid. And he came, gave us a bid, asked for 50% down, whether it was cash, Venmo.
Now,
check,
what kind of
whatever.
work? What kind of work was he going to do?
Yes, sir. So that was it's just decorative railing, if you will, that goes around the stairs, the handrails. Basically.
Okay, and she found him on there, and he wanted 50%. How did he quote you? Did he come over and look at it?
Yep, yeah. So he came over, pulled measurements, seemed legit,
Yeah.
And so yeah, he pulled measurements, had his brother with him. They were a team. And
okay, when did you pay the money?
On December 28th.
Okay, so it's pretty clear this guy ain't coming back. Did he ever come back?
No. So, and I could go on and on about this. But
hey, Chris, on the in Colorado law, there is the Contractors Trust Act, which can actually turn criminal if this guy had no intent, and it sounds like he has no intent. But I want to ask you something. You said I could go on and on, so here's just for fun. Give me the top 3 things on your mind you could go on and on about. The top 3, what are they?
Oh, man.
No, let's hear them.
Breach of trust. Theft.
What's the second thing after breach of trust?
Theft.
Theft. Oh, yeah, for sure. But, I mean, were there any things that just stuck out that bothered you? You said you could go on and on. What did you mean by that?
Well, so where I'm going with that is, so over the time of since we signed the contract, gave him the cash deposit, got 50% down. So we have documentation on this, but the dude is just full of excuses. So I've called the guy.
Oh, so when was the last time you talked to him?
Oh, let me pull up the old text messages since that's his major form of communication. Let's see here.
I'm glad that he has a text because we're going to have people text him if he doesn't come through. We're going to first play nice. What's his name?
His name is James.
James
Chenoweth.
what?
Chenoweth. That's CHENOWETH.
Chenoweth. And did you get his driver's license number?
And I did not.
Now listen.
No.
Now people think I'm nuts. Listen to what I'm saying. Whenever someone does work on your house, first of all, I'd never pay money up front unless under certain circumstances. There are some circumstances I would do it with a credit card. Of course, if they order materials and I can verify it, if they start work, but just to sign and give 50%, no, never. Never.
Okay.
For no reason, unless there's a reason like ordering and all that. But when you do, when I do a big job, I want to see their, or excuse me, even a normal job, I want to see their driver's license. I want to see their real people, that their address, and I want to see it, and I want to write it down in case I got to skip trace them. The other thing is, with big companies, of course, like if you went to K&H Home Solutions, you don't have to get everyone's driver's license. You just check out the company. But when you're dealing with mostly a single guy, you got to really protect yourself. Now, this James, you have his cell phone, right? Well, what I want is one of our deputies, Deputy Doc maybe, to give him a call and say, listen, under the Contractors Trust Act, man, you can go to jail. This is not, and I'll imagine, Chris, $850, that's a lot of money for anyone. I mean, no one wants to throw away $850,
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the guys, give me an idea. How old is this guy?
If I had to guess, he's probably 33, 35, somewhere.
Okay, in his 30s. Okay. I just want to try to let people know so we can put a lookout for him. And then I also want to try to call him first before we go to war. So hold on. 303-713-TALK. Now, Eileen is a prime example of someone who contacted us, and we called her back. We can do that for you. 303-713-TALK while we're on the air. You can call 24-7-303-MARTINO.
Or email us live@troubleshooter.com or help@troubleshooter.
Anything else going on that you wanted to talk about?
No, not yet, man.
What are you working on? You look intent.
I look intent. I'm working on a particular issue.
With the referral list?
With a referral list member.
Yes.
And I'm almost getting there, and I'm hoping...
What is the issue in general?
Okay.
I want people to know that complaints about members, we don't get many, but they go to the top.
What drives me insane, and we deal with this every day, how do you convince someone that's upset that a referral list member gave them a price they don't like? They didn't charge them anything for the price. Let's just say, for example, they said that's going to be $7,000.
Right.
They found someone that could do it for $6,000.
Then go. Now, hold on.
But they're upset. They're upset at the person that gave them $7,000.
Well, you can't be upset, okay? Here's the deal. You're not obligated to do that. Get your prices up front and shop around. But here's another thing. Price. I'm going to say something very profound. Price is not necessarily an indicator of quality in either direction.
I agree.
More money doesn't necessarily mean more quality. Less money doesn't necessarily mean less quality. However, with all things being equal, they should be similar except for those who cut corners. Now, there are those. Let me tell you. I'm gonna let you in on something. And who started this pricing model when it comes to plumbing, heating, cooling, electric, and drains? Mark, is that the category we're dealing with?
Of course. It's always.
I'm going to tell you how this happened. There was one man responsible for it and how they do it.
And they call it book pricing.
Yes, but there's a reason they do it the way they do it. And some people follow it to a T and other people don't. Now, hold on, though. Eileen is a prime example of an outbound call, so let's start with Eileen, and then we'll work on Eileen. What is happening with you?
Oh, dear. Well, Tom, it turns out the water is not between the glass. The water is coming in on the sides of our windows. And when I called Champion...
When was the job done?
It was actually done, it was about 6 years ago. I would say probably January of 2015.
About 6 years ago, you had a whole house full or just a few?
I had the entire house done. I was having no problems with our windows.
Until when?
Double pane.
Until when?
Until now.
What's going on? Okay, now aren't they a lifetime warranty?
No, that's what I thought.
Oh, wait. What are they?
They're only lifetime if the glass breaks or the screen breaks.
Okay, but what kind of... They do have a good warranty, though. I used to represent Champion. That's why I say it. Now, I will say this. I stopped doing it. I'm just going to be totally transparent here. I stopped doing it when a certain general manager, president, whatever they called him for Denver, left. The company, I'm sorry to say, did not measure up completely after he left. However, The products, in my mind, did not change. They were always pretty good. I mean, just because this guy left doesn't mean the quality went down. They did close their Denver manufacturing plant, though. Another thing, I can't say we have a lot of complaints, Mark, but Mark and Suzanne, help me here. Do we have we have more complaints that are not addressed than we did before? Is that right or not? Or is that unfair?
They were a little slow, but I got to say it was during COVID. So
okay. So, Suzanne, do they take care of problems if we bring them to their attention?
They seem to, but it's been a while, Tom, since I've dealt with it.
What is the warranty on the windows we're talking about? That's what we have to find out. We'll come right back with you with more on this.
The Good Assassins Hunting the Butcher podcast is part spy thriller, part detective story. Best-selling author and journalist Stephen Talty tells the pulse-pounding tale of an undercover operation to track down a Nazi killer.
A part of history that seems so bizarre to me that it couldn't have been real. But in 1964, the Israelis decided that Herbert Zuckers had to die.
Listen to The Good Assassins Hunting the Butcher on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Oh, I'm going to talk about two healthcare providers
I absolutely love. Colorado Pain Care for getting out of pain. You know, pain is not normal. Now, you may have aches and pains now and then, but acute pain is not normal. That's their message. And they can help you get out of pain and stay out of pain. They even have physical therapy for flare-ups. Physical therapy that doesn't require a reference. You can go directly to them. Whatever it is, if you have pain, please call them for an evaluation, okay? ColoradoPainCare.com, 833-GOT-PAIN. Local doctors, all insurance accepted, all major insurance, of course, 833-GOT-PAIN. Now, another healthcare professional or organization, Rocky Mountain IV Medics. Oh, my gosh. They come to your home to give you IV therapy in your home, and you don't have to pay a dime more than an IV bar, and it's way less than urgent care. I like watching Netflix on my phone, sitting back on the sofa. My wife and I get IV drips. We both get NAD, which is a cellular rejuvenation. It's an enzyme treatment, but you can get anything you want. Something for migraines. You get something for dehydration or vitamins or whatever. I get them monthly. That's a true statement. And yes, I pay for it. Rocky Mountain IVMedics.com. Call or text. Same day appointments available. 720-987-2155. 720-987-2155. What the fuck just happened?
Anyhow, so they talked me into the steak.
Yes.
And I didn't like it. And now I am fucking regretting going with specials.
Yeah, so did you, usually if you tell them that, Mark, they will do it over.
You know what, I should have. Well, it wasn't the fact. I just didn't like it. They put so much shit on the steak you couldn't taste the steak. That's what I didn't like. There was blue cheese.
Marty's got so many different email addresses. He's Doc45 or something. One is me, one is Martin, one is, he's got all kinds of shit. I should get Smarty Pants at Troubleshooter.com.
You can give them Smarty Pants, just do a virtual.
No, I know. Oh. No, I can't virtual it because if I do a virtual,
you can't send it from it.
I can't, no. Well, no. Somebody's got to get it who has one. I have so much to talk about today. I got that and that, and then the text from Stephanie.
What's the text?
She sent me some stuff I told her that I wanted to talk about. Oh, Stephanie loves going to the independent theaters.
What's open? What's she going to?
Oh, we go to Mayan or the other one. They're independents, okay? They have like artsy-fartsy movies, I call them.
Oh, I see. I thought you were talking more of a play.
One of the big things for me receives the utility bills every month.
Bonnie's knocking it out of the park, of course. Awards and grades and perfection.
He had you a little worried.
I just hope he keeps it up. Where Bonnie's.
Oh no, I'm sorry. It was
yeah.
So we ended up doing more than we did the windows on the front. Again,
I need to figure that out. That's getting better, by the way.
Great results, and I'll add
Bonnie, I'm like, he's really doing so well. When he turned 16, you know what he would die for? A Tesla. I wonder if that would be too weird for a kid.
I think it'd be too fast for
I
a
wouldn't
kid.
get him a Model S.
No, but even the small ones are fucking fast as fuck. That's the only reason I'd say that.
Would I have to pay more for insurance than a regular car?
I don't know. That's a good question for Brian. Are these EVs more expensive? Tesla, I heard, man, even a fender bender can cost a ton.
Do you know what? I've done extensive, serious now, reading before I go to bed, and TED Talks on Elon Musk. Mark, that man is a fucking genius. He's not a nut, he's a fucking genius. And I'm dead serious now. He's a visionary. One of the few visionaries we have that truly, this man knows his shit. He's a dreamer. I love him. I absolutely love him. He's one of my heroes. Do you like him?
Elon?
Yeah.
He's a revolutionary. He thinks different than most people.
Oh my God, but he really makes it happen. Do you realize he has a private rocket company and puts rockets into space routinely for payloads now? They're going to do interspace travel for going cross country and around the world. He's using it like an airline. And you know what? It's not dangerous because they're just breaking the atmosphere. So here's what they're doing, Mark. This and this. You can go to Moscow in 30 minutes. Now we're talking some revolutionary shit. Because if you think about it, what he's doing, he's going up and coming right down to another spot. The longest part of that trip is the countdown. I mean, as far as segments go.
This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson.
And it's a reusable rocket.
Yeah, it's incredible, I know.
But what I never understood is why they do it like this. Why does that rocket have to come down like this?
There are big news stories that big tech and the liberal media.
And Mark, to see a giant thing like that come down slowly.
Yeah, I know.
Because airplanes have...
And it lands within a, whatever, like a 3-foot radius.
Airplanes have to land this way, right? Because you have more control. If this thing, you got to go like this. I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. I have so much to talk about today. I don't know where to start, so I really need to start with your calls. Now, what are we doing about Chris?
We need someone to call. We need to assign this to Deputy Doc. Did we do that, Suze? I'm hoping we did. And on the window thing, we're gonna turn this over to them. But Eileen, how long is your warranty on it? How long is your warranty?
The warranty, you think it's a lifetime.
Well, yeah, but it's lifetime for certain things.
The warranty is, they said they only warranty the grouting for 2 years because that's the only...
What are you talking about, grouting? There's no grouting on a window, so what are you talking about? What is
the grouting outside the window, with caulking.
Well, of course, if that's where it's leaking, that's not their problem, Eileen.
But Tom,
Eileen, that's not their problem.
Every window in my house and the door is leaking.
You know, that is kind of weird, though.
It is, but listen, Mark. Caulking is a maintenance issue, and it's been 6 years. So... let's talk about that. I know that I've never caulked a window in my life.
Exactly what I was going to say.
But they say you got to do it every few years. And really, but I don't think 6 years of not maintaining.
Well, something's wrong, though. If every window in her house is leaking, how many years?
It could be they use the wrong caulk.
They use toothpaste.
Well, no, it used the wrong. Even if they use the wrong caulk, big deal. Everyone has to recaulk eventually, even though I've never done it in my life. I swear to you, though, people need to recaulk, and that's something we never think about or do. Now, really, if that's where it's leaking, they don't owe it to you to come out and caulk your windows. Let's use common sense.
How old are they?
Tom, it's
6 years.
Wait a minute. Tom, first of all,
yes.
If you look at inside the grouting, the way it's grouted or caulked, whatever
it's caulked,
you call it,
yes.
it's even when they came out, he said to me, I agree that this installation was not a good one.
Okay.
Are the gaps so big you got to use excessive caulk?
Okay.
And Tom, it's not like
she
the
wouldn't
north
know
side,
that.
the south side. It's the north side, the east side, the south
Eileen,
side.
here's the only thing I'm saying, and I really want you to listen. I want those listening to listen because here's the way it is, okay? I believe that if it truly is improper installation, in other words, they were put in wrong, that's one thing. But if it's the caulk failing, here's what people argue with warranties. It was never right to begin with. That's the main argument for people wanting warranties extended. Well, Tom, I wouldn't mind a 2-year warranty, but it was never right to begin with. Now, they say they guarantee the caulking and sealing for 2 years. Now, listen carefully. That means that even if it was the wrong caulking and it lasted longer than 2 years, that's all they owe you. Eileen, I'm more concerned about this. Why are they leaking? That's the main thing. So what I'd like to do is get one of our window experts to look at your windows to see why they're leaking. If they truly were installed wrong from the very beginning, then I think Champion should step up. But when I say installed wrong, I mean they were excessively small, they weren't measured properly, and like Mark said, you have too much of a gap, or they didn't back up, because sometimes you have to put, what do they call that, backer rod behind the caulking? So there could be a number of things, Eileen. But the actual window itself, is it failing? We don't know that. So that's what we have to find out. And we can't depend on Champion to tell you that. So, Suzanne, what part of the metro area or Colorado or what state?
Aurora.
You're in Aurora. What I'd like to do, Suzanne, is have an expert from K&H Home Solutions. They have what you're looking for. Seriously, I love these guys. Now, they've been in business 65 years. They did my windows, and they came back and fixed the hardware 15 or 20 years later. So I don't know what the hell Champion does, but you're telling me they won't come back and fix hardware after 10 or 15 years? They're telling you that there's no lifetime warranty except for breaking windows.
Breaking windows.
Well, look that up, Mark. Would you look it up online? I find that shocking. But let's look it up. Champion's really going downhill if that's the case. Now, K&H Home Solutions, I'm going to tell it like it is. They have a lifetime guarantee. Now, here's what I want to say. We will have one of the experts at K&H, if they'd be so kind as to look at these windows and give us an idea of what is wrong. Suzanne, you talked to the contractor for Chris.
I did.
Chris paid $850 down and got nothing. And it was December. What did the guy say, this James Chenoweth?
So what he told me was that his side of the story is he was kicked out of his place where he lived, where he was building the rails. His wife left him with the kids, or left him with the kids.
Well, actually, if this is true, I feel pretty bad for the guy.
He said, I already shut the business down, so I don't really give a you know.
So he's not even nice about it.
Well, he was nice. What he did say was he offered to give Chris the money back, but then a couple days later got court summons papers. He said if Chris wants to call off the court stuff, he'll give him his money back.
All right, now, here's the...
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, if he will, that's true. If he will give the money back. Now, listen, I'm talking to James Chenoweth now. Honest to goodness, man, if all of this is going on, I understand it can be overwhelming. Really, it can be. And I know that, you know, you may not even have the damn money. Like, oh, my God, what am I going to do now? I get it. But it's not Chris's fault. And, Chris, did you do the small claims thing?
It's in process. He's waiting to be served on our behalf. Here's the thing.
Now, wait a minute. He said, how did he know he was being sued if he said call it off and he'll give you the money? But here's what I want to know, Mark. Why would he have to call it off and he'll get the money? Because all he has to do is give him the money, then he calls it off.
Well, he might be thinking that he might be in some legal trouble as well.
But I don't believe it. No, you know what? I wouldn't tell Chris to drop it. Why should he?
Well, if the guy shows up and gives him $850, who cares?
Then you drop it afterwards. No, but the way I understand it, Suze.
Chris, why don't you call him right now and see if he'll meet you and give you the $850, and then you rip up the paperwork. The way I understand it,
Chenoweth said, drop it first, then I give you the money.
That's how I understood it.
Here's the thing, guys, is that I'm in contact with 5 or 6 other families that are in the same exact boat.
See, this guy's trouble. And listen, James Chenoweth or Jim or whatever. It may not be intentional, okay? But come on, man. What did he say? His wife left him with the kids? And what else?
That's what he said, and that he was kicked out of his place where he was building the rails.
What was the name of his business? Do you know? What's the name of his business?
Virtue Welding Services.
What?
Virtue Welding.
Virtue Welding.
Wow.
How do you call virtue welding for the rail? I get it. Okay. Oh, it's not a wood rail. You're talking about one of those decorative metal rails.
Yes, sir.
Well, I have something to say. Welders, they're not in their right minds. They're not. There's something about welders.
And painters.
Yes, Mark. But here's the thing. I don't mean every single one of them because we love Steve the painter. Here's the point. And we have other painters, of course, that are good. The point is, if you look at occupations and weirdness, I could make a list of which in fact, I'm going to do it today. Let's make a list of which occupations have the weirdest people. How about that?
What was this guy's excuse again,
I'll tell you.
The kids took off?
Number one, I would say, are painters. Painters are the weirdest. Number two, I would say welders come in a close second. Anybody want to take a stab at this? I really mean this. I really mean it. Now, car salesmen. They're whack. And you know what? A lot of them are drug dealers. Not drug dealers, but drug users. Yeah, they walk the lots, they hurt, and they use drugs, painkillers. In fact, most people will tell you if they get in that business, it's not but a few hours a salesperson will say, hey, you need a little help or something. That's what I hear.
A bump.
Yeah, so you people come up with some weird occupations. I'm going to get to all your calls.
Talk show host.
This is Denver's Talk Station.
What do we got here? I got to do this. You don't know how to do rattle liquidatorship, do you? Of course I do. All right, then do it. Because I want you to. I gotta go. I don't gotta go, but I have to. You know what I mean? I am an old man.
60, right? Do they want phone number or website?
Just website. And location. You don't have to give the exact, but, you know.
Also, watch out for wreck being cleared westbound 3470 east of the Wadsworth off-ramp. Speeds are improving. Travel through there with caution. Serious crash off highway at Hilltop Road and East Meadow Run. Hilltop is closed between Flintwood Road and Singing Hills Road. No estimated time of reopening. Fox 31 viewpoint weather. Give me a chance of snow showers for the rest of today with a high 36. Right now, snow 47. For impact traffic and weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How.
Don't overpay for glasses. For exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's best. Book your exam online today.
In certain states, eye exams provided by independent optometrists. See store for details.
You ever get that great deal and you look back and go, man, I wish I could get a deal like that on everything. I remember getting a car one time, and I got such a great price. I actually sold the car for more than I bought it from. But let's face it, those kind of deals don't happen all the time. I want wholesale on everything. I don't get it, but you know what I do get wholesale on? Granite, and it doesn't matter. It's any hard surface, quartz, and that's extremely popular right now. But Granite Liquidators, these guys actually sell to the public at wholesale. They don't do fabrication. You go buy it right there. You can have anybody put it in, but these guys, if you want the absolute best price and the best selection on granite, marble, all of it, you got to check them out. GraniteLiquidators.com. GraniteLiquidators.com, and you can see everything right there. But it is the best pricing. And then they have clearance slabs that are below wholesale pricing. GraniteLiquidators.com.
Most of us in the greater Denver area know that it's quite stressful trying to maintain a quality lawn. The answer is to hire the best local lawn care company. Us. This is
we got wipes. Right here, if you want to.
No, I'm going to spray it.
Eileen. Okay, what I'm going to do is let our expert at K&H Windows know the issue. Then I'm going to send them your phone number so they can get some more information and set up coming out to look at them, okay?
Don't run off.
That's an odd name.
Yes, Eileen, just a guess being Friday, and it's the weather out, but being Friday, I'm guessing it won't be today, but he's pretty good at getting out there quick. So let me get with him with all your information. His name is Ted. It will probably be Ted or someone with K&H Windows who's going to call you, okay?
Back to front.
Sure, Eileen, and then we'll take it from there once we get his opinion. Thank you. Bye.
We're talking, my stepson, we're talking one time. This is a true story. He's in his 16, 17. I noticed when the bathroom forgot to flush, there's no toilet paper in there.
He did? He forgot to.
Just crap, no toilet paper. So I flushed it. I said, by the way, I just happened to notice she didn't flush the toilet paper. Here's what he said. Oh, I know. I didn't do it because I was going to take a shower anyway.
I have someone in my
is that a fucking way young
Tommy?
Boys talk? That's the way boys think. Why waste energy like that?
Tommy, I have someone in my family. They are married to someone in their 30s who every time he does the number 2, he has to take a shower. Every time.
Now that's fucking crazy.
It's weird. That's weird.
The bidet part, I wouldn't mind.
So Hobson, the stand-up bidet.
A bidet,
full body bidet.
Actually, bidets are excellent.
Oh, I love them.
But they're not practical.
Well, if I don't encounter one,
shower anyway. Why bother?
Every time I see a bidet, right? I'm sitting down. I think, what the fuck is this?
I love the.
Oh no, I wasn't sitting.
Crocodile
I was
Dundee.
standing up, and I went. Got me in the face.
Remember Crocodile
I
Dundee?
looked over.
Is this for washing my boots?
Okay.
I didn't remember that part actually.
Yeah. Oh, I got it.
Troubleshooter Show. What is your first name?
Jesus Christ, is Biden doing more damage? Come on.
Ron. It is
Dude,
Suzanne.
it's unbelievable.
God almighty, they're in full control. Do you realize they're going to make sure that the other side can never win again?
Yeah, without a civil war.
No, I'm serious.
Well,
they're going to pack the courts, redraw districting lines. A fucking social media is behind them. There's no stopping them.
Well, at some point, my crazy people are going to start going door to door.
What's his prayer? Reparations. Jesus Christ.
Amnesty for everybody that snuck in, making D.C. a state. Yep, good get it. Here we go. 30 away.
Oh, well, I know him very well. There must be a miscommunication, Ron. Please give me your last name and phone number so I can let him know. No! Oh, my gosh. Matthew is the nicest guy on earth. There's got to be some sort of miscommunication. So let me help you out, Ron. Okay, and what's your phone number?
Oh, I got a piece of cheese. All right, I'm Tom Martino.
Your troubleshooter, consumer advocate, fighting for you as we've been doing for 40 years and more. So, weird occupations, painters, definitely, welders, definitely, car salesman. Yep. I guess I should say salespeople, except I've never met a weird saleswoman, so I'm going to say car salesman. Can you think of anyone that are weird? Anyone? Can you? Now, Chris, I think you should continue with this jerk. I really do. I wouldn't continue. I shouldn't say jerk. Again, he was candid with us. He had personal problems. I'm going to say, look, I understand how people can get in over their head when all of a sudden their wife leaves them, they have the kids. Yeah, if all this is true, hold on. I'm not saying it's right. I can understand it. But that doesn't mean he should not give the money back. First of all, I know what you're going to say. He shouldn't have spent the money to begin with.
Well, of course that. But even on top of that, someone doesn't wake up one day and their spouse takes off and leaves them with the kids. That came
from something.
From something that had been going on for a while.
That's a good observation. And an even better observation, is that a Contractors Trust Act says you put the money away for that job. And if you do that, it's not your money anyway. It's not. So you shouldn't use it. It should not have been putting into cash flow. So he's basically admitting he's violated the Contractors Trust Act.
Where's this guy at?
Chris, where are you? What location?
What county?
Weld County.
Wait. Are the other 5 people in Weld County as well?
Boulder County. So Erie, Frederick, Firestone, and Longmont is where I'm assuming everybody is at that I've talked to.
You know, with five people, if you have information on them, if we could get that, but are they all under the same DA? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know what towns are in what counties. Are they all in the same county?
So the way it works, from my understanding, is where he will be punished at is the county that he resides in. Everybody else...
No, you're talking... No. Listen, where did the crimes go down? Where did the rip-offs go down? Same county or not?
In other words, are you in Weld County where he took the money?
And the other 5 people, are they?
Let's talk. We got another victim on the line. Hang on, Chris. Eric, Chris, meet Chris. Chris, meet Eric. What's going on, Eric?
Hey, Tom, what's going on? Hey, what's up, Chris?
What's happening?
Yeah, same thing. We gave James $1,100 as a deposit back on January 1st, and it's been excuse after excuse after excuse.
This guy's Jay Lopez, man. I mean, this is crazy.
Yeah,
okay, so listen, man. We got to go after him, and he shouldn't have spent the money.
Let's do this. I need a list, guys, or Eric, whoever's got the list. Send me the list of all 5 people with their addresses.
Yeah, that's what we need, or as many as you can get together, guys. Now, how much did he take from you, Eric?
$1,100.
God. And he never did a thing? Are you saying he never did a thing?
Yeah, he didn't do a thing. Nothing.
That sucks. That sucks.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Now,
we've literally heard every excuse in the book from this guy, and some.
All right. And I'll tell you what. You know what I call that? Here's what whenever they do that, here's what I call it. Man, because these guys are just full of it. That's all they do. Yep. Jive talking. Okay, so let's talk to Elwood. Elwood, what is going on?
Yeah, Tom, I got a question for you and Mark. I heard Mark on another radio station earlier this morning talking about...
On our sister station, our affiliate, and he was talking about the landlord-tenant situation with COVID, one of the things, yes.
That's right. Landlords are using 12-month leases, and they get locked into that, and then they have to pay out of their nose while they have mortgage expenses behind them. So, I want your opinion on using maybe a 3-month lease. Pros and cons on that.
Well, see, no matter what lease you use...
You still couldn't evict them. There's no difference.
Right. No matter what lease you use, even if you come to the end of a lease, they can stay. All they have to say is...
COVID.
COVID made me do it. Made me do what? Made me get into trouble.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, we're positive. Positive.
Here's the deal. The sheriffs, if they say COVID, won't show up. So if they refuse to leave the premise, that's it. There's nothing else to it.
Listen, I know what you heard, Elwood, and what you heard is accurate. You can evict someone at the end of a lease, yes. Also, you can evict someone for making too much noise. Also, you can evict someone for wrecking the place. You can evict someone for having pets if the lease says no pets. That's not what we're talking about. But people now are using COVID as an excuse. So even if the lease is up, or even if they're noisy, or even if something else is up, if they use COVID, you can't evict them unless you have a strong case and can prove, like, the neighbors are going nuts.
Or they're destroying the place.
But I think even then, it's going to hold up. Okay? It is. And it's going to keep holding up. This is not going away. They say it's extended till September. I have news for you. It's going to be extended, and then they don't know how to get out of it.
What the hell are they going to do come the end? You're going to have so many people getting kicked out at one time.
This is a government thing, because here's what the government does, and it doesn't matter who's in power. They want to make people happy with them. as many people as possible. There are more tenants than there are landlords. So they're going to make it cushy. Don't be surprised if they force landlords. Now, you might call me crazy. If they force landlords to forgive the debt.
I don't know how you do that.
Mark, I don't know how they've done anything.
Well, I guess if they pack the court, they might be able to do it.
That's right, Mark. Mark, listen. The prince, Machiavellian, the prince, outlined people in power centuries ago. And it said that they'll do once in power, their goal is to stay in power. And it's not just Democrats right now. It's everyone. When they're in power, they push their agenda. To what extent? It's never a good thing. It doesn't matter what you are. You never want one party controlling everything.
Tell your smart device to play 630.
We know that, don't we? Thank you for the sound effect. I'm going to use them from now. I'm so pissed at not.
Denver's talk station, available on over 2,000 devices. Now, Impact Traffic. This report is sponsored by the Ben Ferguson Podcast.
From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, let's start off with the good news on the west side of town. That earlier crash west on 6th Avenue between Union and Indiana, that's been cleared out of traffic.
So,
lanes are back open, traffic flow slowly getting back into speed on that stretch.
The dinner that you had, was it completely fucked?
No, not at all. I just wish I stuck with what I wanted to order, that's all.
How'd you have the steak? Rare?
Always have it rare, but it was all the shit they put on top, man.
What did they put on it?
Blue cheese, onions, mushrooms. It was like more shit than steak.
You know what, Mark?
It was just too much shit. You didn't even taste the steak.
I noticed something. I eat so much less than I used to. Oh my God, just by natural. I have a tendency to want the wrong things. I don't need junk, but
Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts right now.
All right, the Art of Granite is doing countertops at wholesale pricing, meaning the materials are wholesale. You can get them from the Art of Granite or anywhere for wholesale. They will tear out and haul away free, and they'll do the bathroom free when you do the kitchen. That means Mitch Fleury at the Art of Granite, they'll do you a quote on the phone that's pretty damn close. Get prices on the phone from a great company. If you're thinking of countertops, whether granite, quartz, quartzite, or marble, whatever, theartofgranite.com, 303-386-5919. I've been talking about David Ellis Jewelers at 3rd and Clayton because I know him personally, I trust him, and you can rely on him to buy your silver, gold, precious metals, even stones, by the way, but mostly the precious metals. And he'll write you a check right then and there. Now, you can shop around all you want, but I recommend you never send stuff out, never ship it out to be priced, never, and never meet someone in a hotel room. It's shady. Do this. DavidEllisJewelry.com, 303-322-8779, 3rd and Clayton, David Ellis Jewelers. I'm sorry.
Hi,
you want me to start doing that?
And on a new podcast from iHeartRadio, Immunity in our community, we'll hear from Americans on the front lines and the doctors and medical experts who convince them and their loved ones to roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated. Listen to COVID-19 Immunity in our community on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcast. We can do this. Wouldn't it be great to escape to your own condo in the mountains, your own log cabin in the mountains, somewhere you can get away for long weekends or even work remotely? Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for American Financing, reminding you that a new home, including a second home, is very affordable right now, thanks to interest rates that are still close to record lows. And when you work with American Financing, you don't just benefit from custom loans, you actually get the full home buying experience because they partner with some of the top realtors in Colorado. So you can feel confident you're buying the right property at an affordable price with the best possible loan program. American Financing, they are really in it for you. They're your one-stop shop when it comes to home buying. Open 7 days a week, including evening hours. So don't put off that dream home any longer. Move up to something bigger or buy a vacation home by calling 303-695-7000. That's 303-695-7000 or online at AmericanFinancing.net.
What is an SME?
If you drive a car, truck,
Small
SUV,
to
or
medium
vehicle of any
enterprises. Okay,
kind,
never mind.
then you need the Get Upside app.
I wonder
the
what
free
SME
gas app that
stands
pays
for.
you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. People all over America are earning as much as $300 a year in cash back just by buying gas.
I always use the Get Upside app. Some months I make $200 to $300.
I love the Get Upside app. I get free money for things I do every day.
There's no catch. It's real money, and you get your cash back right away.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CASHBACK for a 25-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your next fill-up. Cash out anytime using PayPal or an e-gift card to Amazon, Starbucks, and other brands. Earn cash back with every fill-up. Download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CASHBACK. Promo code CASHBAck.
Deep down, you knew it was coming, and you know there's nothing you can do to stop it. And now it's here. Federal debt now exceeds the size of the entire economy. Congress continues to spend like drunken sailors. Taxes are going up, and your retirement savings are going to be taxed to smithereens. But there's one proven time-tested strategy that lets you legally pay zero taxes on your hard-earned retirement money. You can learn all about it in a free report from Bank on Yourself. Get it now at LegallyPayZeroTax.com. This strategy also grows your wealth safely and predictably every year, even when the market tanks. And it gives you penalty-free access to your savings. Yes, you can protect your money from the next stock market crash and from Tax-Mageddon. To get this free report and save your retirement, visit LegallyPayZeroTax.com today. That's LegallyPayZeroTax.com. LegallyPayZeroTax.com.
Denver's talk station, 630 KHAL.
I'm Tom Martino. This hour brought to you by Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Free market valuations for your home. Plus, just a great guy to know. There's no obligation. No obligation to list, but you'll get a complete detailed evaluation based on the market conditions. Way better than, Zillow or even an appraisal, because many times your house can bring more than an appraisal. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Elwood has a problem, I guess, he wants to talk about. I don't blame him. This tenant landlord, this the bubble is going to burst in a bad way. We give this example. You got a landlord. He's got one or more tenants. They're not paying. He's owed thousands of dollars, Elwood. So what happens when the eviction stay is lifted? He evicts them. Okay, because they're not going to have the money. These jerks aren't saving up money. And they're not all jerks, by the way. There are some truly impacted people by COVID. But come on, how many truly are impacted where they can't pay any rent and they haven't been paying for a year? There aren't that many that should be taking advantage of this. So you have now these people that just got evicted. Where are they going to rent? If you just got screwed and then a new tenant comes to you, aren't you going to ask the obvious question? Hey, did you just get evicted too? What would you do? Really, Elwood, would you rent to someone who just got evicted for not paying their landlord?
No.
Yeah. Not at all. So what's going to happen to all of these people when this eviction bubble bursts? What's going to happen? I want to know. I really want to know. And I think the government, and let's just say it like it is, the liberal Democrats, and this is not because I love Republicans either. Honest to God, it's not. But in this particular case, that's their audience. Their votes. That's what you got right there. So what are they going to do when it comes time to getting all these people paid. They don't care about landlords as much as tenants. It's a numbers game. Same on Republican side. It's a numbers game. So what happens? I don't know what's going to happen. Mark, what did you talk about? I didn't listen to the whole thing. Did you speculate what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Come on.
Well, I think a lot of people are going to get evicted, and a lot of people that go through the court system and actually get the judgment, these people are going to owe money as we go forward. I have no idea how the feds or the local government could step in and say, hey, you know that judgment you got? That's no good. You can't collect the money they owed you on the contract and the agreement they signed with you. That would change this country into China or Russia.
Elwood, so if you asked a question, if you have a 3-month lease, will that help you? It will help you change tenants more often if you have to. But even at the end of a lease, they can still invoke COVID. And they need no proof. They need no proof whatsoever.
And you're sure about that, Tom?
Yeah, here's why, Elwood. People will dispute. I get emails every time I say that. Here's why I say that. They don't need proof. Do they need proof? Technically, they have to fill out some stuff about COVID. But you can't evict them. It doesn't matter. So if you say, I have a tenant, I want to evict, and I don't believe his COVID story, what will happen, Mark? Will the sheriff show up?
Well, that's the problem. The sheriff doesn't show up.
Yes, period. You're not going to evict.
And if they actually fill out, in most counties,
the judge isn't even going to hear it. Listen, as soon as the judge hears it, they're not going to do it. And even if the judge, listen, if you had a judge that heard you and felt sorry for you and said, yeah, this isn't adequate, and they granted you an eviction, you still will not get law enforcement to show up. You would have to hire private security and go through another route. This is the problem. People, we got open lines. We'll talk about anything. 303-713-TALK.
Discover one of the CIA.
Was running a program in broad daylight. Listen to Operation Midnight Climax on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. You know why I do commercials for SimplyFloorsInc.com? Because I personally use them. I'm consumer advocate Mark Major. If you're in the market for flooring, you have to check out SimplyFloorsInc.com. Not only do they have the newest LVT that's scratch-resistant and waterproof, they also have the most beautiful lines of hardwood and carpet. They do free design services, and they can save you up to 40% from the big box stores. The best service, the best prices, SimplyFloorsInc.com.
KRFX HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver, an iHeartRadio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music, radio, and podcasts. All in one.
ABC News, Pamela Tolsey. The White House says President Biden has been briefed on the latest mass shooting. It happened at a FedEx facility in Indianapolis. Police have not identified the suspected gunman.
Oh, I gotta piss.
Other people? Okay. I would love for you to tell Tom. I would love for you to tell him this. Hang on, Terry. You're the best. Sharon. Cluster F star A. Let's see. How do I do a cuss word? F pound at K. How to do cluster on the screen. Okay. Troubleshooter show. What is your first name? Hi, Tom. In a sentence or less, what would you like to talk to Tom about on the show today? Ooh. You looking to get him patented or something? Do I need to get my patent and trademark attorney on for your call? Okay. Okay. That is a good question for our attorney. That is it. What's the gist of the second question? Oh, okay, no problem. I'm sure it'll dawn on you at 3 in the morning. Like it does me. Okay, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, Tom. Hang on.
He's saying 70-30 chance.
That it will or won't?
Will.
70 chance it will.
Yeah.
Nice.
Weird.
I had such a good time at the last game.
Okay.
I had such a good time at watching them play with their balls last time.
Mm-hmm. And you know, a fun little stat that may get you a drink.
Oh, okay.
Is how many balls do they play with?
Oh, how many?
12 dozen.
12 dozen?
Mm-hmm.
Literally?
Yeah. For every
Who would ask me that? Who?
No, just bring it up.
Okay.
Hey, you beer, you don't know
how many balls
these
guys
guys
with.
get ready.
12 dozen.
Now you got 9 guys out on the field. How many balls are they playing? It's not as few as you would think. It's 12 dozen. That the umpires get them ready. It's now a staff. It's now a MLB staffer.
Okay.
But they are down there preparing 12 dozen balls as we speak.
Nice. Okay, I'm gonna go tell Tommy what the deal is.
Good luck.
I'm going to make sure I level out so I know my exact starting point.
Okay.
And then do it.
Remember that lady Stephanie went out and looked at the house for?
Yeah.
She's back. It's a cluster. Tom, we just need to keep...
Tell me what it is.
So basically, she has a huge credit card... Sherry. Credit card debt where they put a lien on her home. She's called 2 or 3 times on the show. The last time we wanted someone to look at her house. She wants Stephanie Thomas to say, there are so many repairs needed on this house, there would be no sense in these folks foreclosing on her. She's got a shit ton of equity. So anyway, but it's a good call, but I don't want her bashing Stephanie. Stephanie did 0 wrong, but she's...
Oh, why would she be mad at Stephanie?
Because Stephanie didn't tell her what she wanted to hear. That it's not worth selling your home.
But first of all, Stephanie wouldn't be the deciding factor anyway.
Stephanie went out to look at the property.
No. What I mean is, does she think Stephanie's going to influence the credit card people?
No, but what she wanted was she's wanting us to say,
don't stay in your home, it's too far gone.
It's too far gone, they're not going to want it. And that's just not the case. She wants us to say, yeah, you need so many repairs done on your house, it wouldn't be worth their time to come after you. She's got too much equity.
But even if we say that, what fucking difference does it make if we say that?
You'll recognize her voice when you hear her.
It's America's best. Book your exam online today.
In different states, eye exams provided by independent optometrists. See store for details.
Hi, I'm host Robin Roberts, and on a new podcast from iHeartRadio, COVID-19, Immunity in Our Community, we'll hear from Americans on the front lines and the doctors and medical experts who convince them and their loved ones to roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated. Listen to COVID-19 Immunity in Our Community on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. We can do this.
Get your AC checked before it's too hot to bed. Fix it 24/7.
Do you realize what else the Democrats are going to do? They're going to do away with the Electoral College.
Say it again.
They're going to do away with the Electoral College. Mark, if you go by popular vote, New York and LA and Chicago and Boston, you're done. You're fucking done. Okay. Right? You know that. What do you think? What are you working on now?
Nothing. Emails.
Denver's Talk Station has your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Spring. That's spring.
You know, you go through your emails
Keep listening to it.
I actually sometimes get to the point where it says, congratulations, your inbox is empty. And then 20 minutes later, you know, it's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Tom Martino, the
Troubleshooter.
Hello, I'm Tom Martino, and I am your troubleshooter, consumer advocate for 47 years, 40 years in Denver, fighting for you. Solving problems, answering questions, taking complaints, recovering hundreds of millions of dollars. Thank you for being here. I truly appreciate your trust in this show and in us. Genesis Total Exteriors is there to help you for home improvements inside and out. Genesis, by the way, is the name of the company. From beginning to end, they get involved. And it's GenesisTotalExteriors.com, but they also do baths, kitchens, basements. 303-679-8509. 679-8509. GenesisTotalExteriors.com. Why do I mention this? Because every day we have nightmares of home improvement contractors. So what we do here is we call out the bad, and we also recommend the good. Let's go to the phones. Elwood has another comment. He started out by saying, what do I do? I'm a landlord. And if I have a 3-month lease instead of a 1-year lease, can I get out of it? Because if they stop paying rent, but the lease ends, I can evict them for the end of lease. And I said, yes, you can evict for end of lease. You can evict for noise and other things. But if they use the COVID mistake, it muddies the waters. And it's very difficult to get an eviction. But Terry just called and says, Terry, you're witnessing an eviction?
Yes, I actually just drove by one. I left the vet, and the vet sits on the corner of 2nd and Bromley, and right across the street, there's an Adams County sheriff sitting in front of the house. Their door's wide open, and removing stuff from the house. It's all over the driveway and the front yard.
And that's probably because it was a slam dunk case for some other reason. You understand what we're saying, right, about evictions?
Or they didn't claim COVID. Simple as that.
That's what I mean. That's true. If they use COVID as a mistake... Go ahead. What, Terry?
There was just another one down the block like 2 weeks ago. The same thing.
What neighborhood are you in?
That house always gets evicted.
What neighborhood are you in?
In Brighton, off of 2nd and Bromley is where I was at.
So let's say, for example, someone had a drug bust at their home or police or something. I don't think, Mark, they can claim COVID.
No, there's some things they can kick you out for sure. If you're destroying the property, making meth, there's numerous things they can do that for.
But not
sneaking other people in that aren't on the lease.
But not end of lease.
No, not end of lease.
I think my neighbors are claiming COVID because she's never worked, and he had an excellent job, and he's no longer working and hasn't worked for over a year.
There are a lot of people making more money sitting at home. Again, how are we going to handle this? But you see, if you give people money and you continue to give people money, it will never incentivize them. We are creating terrible, terrible situations that are going to be difficult to get out of. Difficult.
Yeah, and people that think that they did a deferment on their mortgage payments and that's not going to affect their credit or, let's say, not affect their lending ability, they're insane. It will.
Sherry, Sherry, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, Sherry. I want to recap something here. How much do you have? I just want to go over the case. You had called before. How much do you have in credit card debt?
0.
Okay, 0. Do you have any other debt?
0.
Okay, but for no reason at all, then, someone's trying to evict you or trying to foreclose on your house.
No, I had a credit card 11 years ago, or 12 actually, when I had cancer.
Oh.
And I used it, unfortunately, as cash because I was
that is credit card debt. When I said how much credit card debt you had, that's what I meant. How much is that?
You meant current.
No, dear. I mean,
I thought you meant current.
No. How much on that credit card debt from 12 years ago?
There were two, one for $1,700 and the other with U.S. Bank was $6,000.
Now, what's really weird is it was $7,000 total, and then they got judgments. What did it go up to? How much do you owe now?
It went up to 44, but the smaller one aged out because it was under a certain amount.
So, well, what you meant was they didn't pursue it in a judgment. So right now, to make a long story short,
please make it short.
To make a long Sherry, it doesn't right. Okay, so right now there is a $33,000 judgment against your home.
Yes.
Okay, who's talking to you in the background?
Oh, I'm sorry. 3 rooms away, your radio's on.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was someone coaching you. That's okay. Listen. So, Sherry, what can we do for you? I think what we said, how much do you owe on your house right now?
120.
Yeah, I remember. And what we were trying to do, what we were trying to figure out, because I think those people with a judgment, did they record it against your home yet? Did they put a lien on your house?
Yeah.
And it's growing. The interest is growing everything.
Hold on. So you have a home you have a home loan, and it's 120, and the house is worth how much?
Well, the silly realtor that was worthless that came over.
She wasn't worthless. She's one of the best. Hold on. Why did you call her worthless? She's one of the best in the entire area. That's why we sent her.
No, she's not.
You know what, Sherry? Go to hell. Go to hell.
Mark, will you stop and let her talk first? I understand.
No,
you're
she's
upset.
trying. Go ahead.
I get it, Mark. I get it. She doesn't like the results, so she's trying.
Her house is worth too much. She wants to screw the people that have the money.
Mark, I get it, but the audience doesn't get it if you don't let her tell us. That's what you call revealing a story. Mark is upset. Here's why he's upset. Because he thinks you're calling her useless because she did not do what you wanted to do. Okay? So listen, Sherry, if you want help, Sherry, if you want help, you have to listen to us now. Your house is worth, according to her, how much? That's all I need to know. Not if you agree. What did she say your house would go for on the market? What did she think?
She failed to estimate it based
I asked you a question, Sherry. If you want our help, I need an answer. Because there is something very valuable I want to tell you, okay? It's very valuable. I need to know what she said your house is worth on the market. That's all I need to know right now. I'm not asking if you agree with it. I'm not asking you to dispute it. We will get to that. How much did she say it was worth?
She said if it was a 3-bedroom, it could sell for $325.
Okay, hold on. Suzanne, you tell her we have real, honest-to-God help, but I need to know right now, just one number. How much did Stephanie Thomas say this house was worth? She keeps telling me if, and if, and if. I want to know right now, in its condition, what did she say? Tell me if she's prepared to answer that. And if she is, we'll take her. Damn it, there's a reason I'm saying this, and it will benefit everyone listening.
Discover one of the CIA's illicit Cold War initiatives on the iHeartRadio original.
I don't blame you. God almighty. Can you believe she called her useless? Useless. I told her to go to hell. Well, of course. This woman, Mark, thinks that if Stephanie says it's not worth much, that the fucking credit card company's going to listen. It doesn't fucking matter.
Nor would Stephanie do that.
And it doesn't even matter is what I'm saying. Okay, chronic pain, not normal. Acute pain every now and then, okay. You work out, you get a pain. But if that pain lasts, if you have sciatica forever, if you have headaches, migraines, if you have any kind of pain in your legs, hips, joints, elbows, head, ColoradoPainCare.com. Please get an evaluation. That's what they deal with day in and day out. Local doctors dedicated to fighting pain with innovative, evidence-based treatments and proven results. 303-GOT-PAIN. You know who else has proven results? Approval Reverse Mortgage. This is a great mortgage company for reverse loans. I've known Joan Sullivan now for, Mark, so many years. Joan is dedicated to helping those 62 and older take advantage of the equity in their home if it's wise for them to do it. And in most cases it is. If you want to live, not have mortgage payments, you don't pay taxes on it even, and you don't lose your home. It's so easy. You just pay taxes and insurance and you can stay there forever, no matter how long. As long as you're there. ApprovalReverse.com. ApprovalReverse.com. 303-771-3528.
Colorado is more than a state. It's a state of mind. Here, we each do things our own way. And yet, state politicians want to create a one-size-fits-all government health insurance system called the state government option.
Hey, here's the one you like.
Control over your health care.
What are you talking about, Mike?
You want that state plan.
That's exactly what I want.
Isn't that what you said yesterday?
Yes, I do. I want that totally.
Wasn't Tom saying he wanted the state mandate of health insurance?
Mm-hmm.
Now's the perfect time for this special offer.
And I want Kamala to be president.
Listen to this. I didn't know this. Remember that plane that lost the engine right here over Broomfield? 2 people are suing them right now.
For what?
I don't know. It says 2 passengers on the plane.
I'd love to get them on the
significant trauma and stress.
Really, honest to God, would you get their attorney on? Let's get their attorney on. Not today, but Mark, that would be an excellent thing. Remember you had that one attorney on, and we were going to, you were thinking he was a ambulance, wait, I don't know, not an ambulance chaser. Who was that guy?
He was the guy that wanted to change the law to where you could sue Uber or make Uber and Lyft have a certain kind of fucking insurance that covered shit that they didn't do. He was a fucking nut. Remember that?
But I don't remember the issue.
The issue was this. They wanted Uber to carry insurance in case if the person in your car didn't have any health insurance, that they would cover insurance that would cover the person if the Uber driver got hit by someone that was uninsured.
The free gas app that gives you cash.
They wanted Uber and Lyft to carry insurance that would cover the passenger under any circumstance whatsoever.
They wanted Medicare for passengers. Why don't they have Medicare?
They do, but we're talking about if an underinsured driver hits the Uber, it's not the Uber person's fault.
I know, but that's what MedPay does anyway.
That's only up to 10 or 20,000. They wanted it covered 100% for everything. In other words, loss of work, everything.
I remember thinking the guy wasn't a pretty good guy to get on the road. I don't know. I don't remember it being that foolish.
It was so dumb I couldn't believe it.
The electric Hummer.
Oh, it's beautiful. 1,000 horsepower.
Download the free Get Upside app and use promo code CASHBACK. Promo code CASHBACK.
1,000 horsepower. It's got a crab crawl, so look, you can go like this and go this way.
I wonder if I should get
colon cancer screening.
You know what? Why wouldn't you get one of those? That'd be fucking perfect for you. I'm teasing with you.
Try to eat well.
You got to get on a list.
You don't like electric.
I'd like that. You just can't bring it. I mean, it can come here and back a couple times. I'm good with that. It's 350 miles.
But Mark, that's not a lot. And how many hours do you have to charge?
I don't know that. But I already have.
We could always chip in and put a charging station here.
I already have one in my garage. I can install one. I already had everything on
your motorhome. I get it. Right.
Well, that's a. There's 150 amps in that garage. But I'm saying in our regular garage, I'm ready to install one too. I wouldn't like park in the big garage for a fucking car.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if colon
How about an electric RV? Think of the size of mine. Think of the battery pack you could have in that.
Well, Elon Musk has an over the road.
This report is sponsored.
Oh, you're right. The trucks.
I'm Foxford One Pinpoint Weather Meteorologist Carly Cassidy. Put an icy road with more like snow showers.
You got to wonder how much that battery setup would be, though. I bet you that would bring the cost of an RV the size of mine probably to $500,000 just because of the battery. Don't you think? And then you'd have to make it to where you could plug in that 50 anywhere you go, just like you do now.
On the day I want to talk about a lot of things.
You don't talk about anything.
Hi, Tom Martino. You're a troubleshooter.
Sherry got a judgment against her. It's unfortunate. She really can't see the trees because she's buried in the forest. Or she can't see the forest because she's hiding behind a tree. Either way, whatever analogy you make, I'm trying to get a big picture. I know she doesn't like what she's hearing, but I want to hear it anyway, because that was an independent opinion. And there's a reason I'm going where I'm going with Sherry.
You're kind.
No, I know. I understand. She called our real estate person useless, and she's not. She's great. But here's the deal. This debt, $33,000, Sherry has to deal with, okay? She really does. And she had cancer. Hey, by the way, Sherry, is your cancer in remission? Are you clear? What's going on with that?
They took out my thyroid and I had radiation.
So you're past that?
See if it's in my colon.
Oh, no. You have it in your colon now?
Well, they're checking me because of certain situations that have come up and tests that have been taken.
But you got
it's not confirmed.
But were you diligent in getting regularly checked?
Yes, I was.
Good.
I was going to somebody here who checked me thoroughly every 3 years because I have a family history.
But that's good that you got checked at least. Maybe they caught it in time, right?
Well, we haven't had the final colonoscopy yet.
Okay. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go through this because I know it's stressing you. And I promise you, you have some wrong ideas about this, and I'll get to them if you just let me get to them. If you owe $33,000 and you plus your house is $120,000, that would make a total of $153,000 plus selling expenses, which would bring it up to, let's even be exaggerating, $175,000. If you go to $175,000 or $180,000, that would be what that would have to be worth for a company to want to get its money. Now, what did Stephanie Thomas say your house would bring on the open market?
She never gave me a figure.
Suzanne, what's the number, Suzanne? Please give it to me, because Sherry will never say
apparently that Sherry is alleging,
just let
I understand, she's alleging there's some serious issues with the house, but
here's what I care. What? Yes. What?
That probably around 300.
Okay. Now, let's do something now.
Let me say something on that 300, okay?
Yeah.
That is from a quick sale like We Buy Ugly Houses. Like she wanted to bring the offer to this woman. So it is 300.
But Sherry wants us to say her house needs to be condemned so nobody can take her house from her over this lien.
I get it. Sherry, if we had the power to make that decision for the credit card company, there would be no reason why we would not want to help you. But let me explain something. This is what I was trying to tell you. Stephanie Thomas is very experienced, and she thinks in a quick sale she can get you $300,000. Now, that would mean you would have $150 left after paying all your bills. At least $150, probably more. But here's what I want to say. I understand your goal. So now I'm going to ask you to give us your goal. What were you hoping that Stephanie would say, or what is your belief about your home value? Go ahead.
As a 2-bedroom, 1-car garage in bad condition, I think that we have to take 80 off for repairs from whatever.
Just give me, how about this? Just now I'm asking you, what is your opinion? What is your opinion? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know. I'm not looked up, Pally. I don't know.
Okay.
My opinion is that, well, I know that I've had several professionals give me estimates.
For how much?
And the grand total of all the things being done is almost $100,000 in damages, repair costs, and fix-ups.
Okay, so let's say then you take 100 off of 200, 300. Now you have 200,000. That's still enough for the credit card company to get its money. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not sure. So now, even if, though, let's just say this, and here's something you need to know, and this is what I want everyone to hear. Even if you had an appraiser right now say your house is only worth $100,000, and the credit card company says, She owes more than the house is worth, plus our debt. We'll never get our money. Let me explain something to you, okay? Yeah. There is absolutely no downside for them foreclosing, so they would. What I'm getting at is this. You're upset with Stephanie Thomas because you believe she did not accurately assess your house. And as I understand it from Sue's, you wanted her to say it's not worth even going after, or it's not worth even putting on the market. But do you understand, no matter what we say, no matter what Stephanie says, the credit card company doesn't care, or whoever holds that judgment. You need to know that, Sherry, because you seem to think that you can talk them out of foreclosing on your home. And you can't, because our opinion is not going to sway them. The only thing that would sway them is this. Okay, guys, this house needs some repair. It's going to be a hassle foreclosing. We know she owes $33,000. Would you take 20 and then try to get 20 to pay them off?
And they'd never do it because the equity's there and they know it.
Maybe. But some companies, Mark, they don't want to go through it. No, I get you. I get it. Trust me. But some companies, though, they weigh the overall cost and time and hassle, and they may just want to take a quick 20. Maybe 25. I don't know the number, but you do know that people will make deals. But the thing is this, unless it's so obviously overpriced. Here's the good news. Even if they did foreclose, you get whatever's left over. But I want to ask something, Sherry. Are they foreclosing? Uh-huh. Are they foreclosing, or are we just all talking about this just in case?
Well,
have they started
about it just in case.
Okay. Let's talk to Stephanie Thomas, who did the evaluation. Hi, Stephanie.
May I please?
Hello.
Yes. What were you going to say, Sherry? What were you going to say?
It needs to be estimated based on what's here.
Okay.
And it's a 2-bedroom, 1-car garage with a lot of damage.
Sherry, here's the thing. Even if we tell the credit card company it's a 2-bedroom, 1-car garage, you seem to think you're not listening to me. All they care about, all they care about is paying off that $120,000 loan, and they get whatever's left over, and then you get whatever's left over after they get paid. You can't talk them out of doing this if they want to do it. We don't even know if they want to do it. But Sherry, you keep saying the same thing. Oh, my house isn't worth it. They don't care what you think. How more clear can I put it? You don't understand that. They don't care what you think. They don't care what Stephanie thinks. They don't care what I think. This is where you keep going round and round in circles. Stephanie, yes. This house, she keeps saying it's a 2-bedroom. Is it a 2 or is it a 3? Is it a 1? What is it?
And forgive me, I don't have that in front of me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
On the road at the moment. But when I went out to the home, so what I'd like to say is when I went out to the home and met with Sherry, I actually did not do a full market analysis for her because the damage that she's referring to, some of it is latent that we can't see. And she made the comment to me that some of the plumber, for instance, that had told her those things, it's been a number of years ago.
Give me an idea, Stephanie, of what the damage she was talking about.
She suggested that she had some damage from a faulty installation of a French drain system that could have potentially affected her foundation. Also a deck that had some water leaking in behind. You could definitely see a little bit of water intrusion around the downstairs window. I did suggest, because some of that is not something I can see and not something that I would be qualified to assign a dollar figure to, so I actually provided her a foundation company referral
to come out and take a look at that, because the plumber that she mentioned that told her those things, it's been a number of years ago.
Okay.
And she didn't have an actual bid or anything in writing.
Okay.
So I had some concerns for her that, one, not having that in writing and the company going out of business could potentially, you know, I didn't know if maybe someone was trying to take advantage of her.
It could
at that
cloud
point.
the credibility.
Or it was so long ago. I don't know if it,
I get it.
what that situation looks
Now,
like
Sherry, could you tell me what about what Stephanie just said sounds useless to you?
The piece that we're missing that makes me feel the useless sense is that we've had a yard and architecture engineer come down, and he says the yard needs to also be completely regraded.
Do you, Sherry, do you have his written report? Do you have his written report?
No, he gave it to Rebuilding Together, but
Okay, now I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to ask you a question, okay? And I want you to answer based on what we just said. If you had an engineering report saying your yard had to be regraded, and if you had a report saying you had structural repairs needed, okay, your house would still have a value. What you failed to realize, and I'm going to ask you a question, would the credit card company or the people holding the judgment care if you told them the house wasn't worth getting? Do you think they would care?
Probably not.
Okay, so then why do we keep going down that road? Stephanie,
because
you have seen,
my goal.
It's your goal to keep your home, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. It may be impossible, but you know what?
I'm supposed to get a tax attorney and go deal with these people.
But you're not going to. There's no defense against a judgment that's already there. There's no defense. My God, Sherry, first of all, you're never going to fight them because you won't listen to anyone. I am telling you the honest-to-God truth. The judgment is already there. There's no defense. You don't hire an attorney to go and argue your house isn't worth anything because they ultimately don't care. It's what the sale will bring. Sherry, they have nothing to lose. Do you understand if your house goes to auction and that, first of all, there has to be enough to pay off the $120,000. So let's say they only get enough to pay off the first mortgage and their attorney's fees. They have lost nothing. Even if they get $20, they have lost nothing. So what do you think an attorney can do for you? Just tell me, because you're going down a road where you're going to spend more money for nothing. If that company doesn't care because it costs them nothing and there is no downside, what would your attorney be arguing? Let me know. Maybe I'm missing something. What would your attorney argue? What would he argue? Or she? What would they argue?
That I'm disabled. I have no income. I cannot pay off a 13.
Sherry,
and would they settle?
Do you understand? Oh, okay, hold on. Would they settle for what? Go on. Keep going. For what?
My whole worth is $10,000.
Okay, you know what?
And
at least you're talking in the right direction. Settlement.
Sucks, but I'm done with it. Okay, it does. But if we can get this fucking...
She's a fucking bitch.
But Mark, if she's disabled and she had cancer, come on. If we can get a settlement for the fucking woman...
But why would they settle? The house is worth $300,000. She's not going to convince anybody it's not worth that. And the only reason I'm like this, she called fucking Stephanie worthless.
I love Stephanie. For God's sakes, Mark, you know that.
She fucking goes up there, fucking helps this woman out for zero, and the woman comes on and calls us worthless? What the fuck's she gonna call me if I fucking call up the attorneys and settle something at 20? Oh, he's a fucking asshole. He only got 13 off of it.
I totally get what you're saying. You know that. Come on, man.
She sounds like an old bitch.
You don't care to help her is what you're saying.
I could give a fuck.
You don't care if she's fucking home.
No, not after that shit. She's ungrateful. I've never fucking heard anybody that ungrateful.
$50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's best. Book your exam online today.
In certain states.
I'm going to go to another call for that.
See store for details.
K&H Home Solutions is 65 years old. They started out as K&H Windows. I had the pleasure of meeting Henry Zellingman, the original owner, and that's what K&H is for. H is Henry, K is his wife that it was named after. Now listen to this. Ted took it over about 30 or maybe even 40 years ago. I look at what I'm saying is I know this company from the very beginning. They have window siding, doors, and more. And now, in honor of the 65th anniversary, $650 off soft light windows. These are the only windows that have the government Energy Star rating 7 years straight. Everlast Siding, you get $6,500 off your package there, and $1,650 off Provia entry doors. 303-421-7100. KHWindows.com. Make your own appointment and get this going. KHWindows.com. Another thing you want to get going, countertops, you can have them in 2 weeks from the time you pick materials at theartofgranite.com. That's the website, theartofgranite.com. I've known Mitch Floria for many years, and I remember going out to see him, and I saw this place, and I knew it was perfection. He takes pride in each and every countertop. He does any material you want, okay, any solid surface. And what you do is you pick the material anywhere at wholesale, either from him or somewhere else, on his account for wholesale. And then he fabricates and installs. He'll give you prices on the phone, 303-386-5919.
Kitchens, baths, counters, and floors, even replacing windows and doors.
Fuck. Are you sure? Did you tell her about the game? Is that where that came from?
Mm-hmm.
And that's a done deal, huh?
I got a guy down there who says.
So
He
what
knows
happens?
guys who knows balls.
So if we had tickets tonight, how does that work?
You'd use them tomorrow for the doubleheader.
For both games? I don't think I can sit at a fucking Rockies game for 8
I
days.
don't know. As fucking gay as this planet is now, I don't know if they clear people out between games. They may.
That'd be fine with me.
I know.
And we're also sitting in those really nice fucking seats.
And it's a 3:15 start, so the early game would be today's game. So the 3:15 start would be today's game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you're holding tickets for today, it's 3:15 tomorrow.
Which is after or before the game? The other game? When
Before.
Oh, okay.
Because
So
it was
those are
scheduled for
6:45.
6:40 tonight.
Okay, so it's 3:15 today. Those tickets would be good for 3:15 tomorrow. I don't know if you can linger. I doubt it.
Is that Infinity Club nice? Have you ever
I've never
been in it?
I try not to go.
We had a great time last week, but I mean they suck right now. They're not doing it.
I used to go to games and just drink and pass out. I don't care, but seriously anymore unless I'm getting paid. I'm not watching anything.
He doesn't watch balls anymore.
Unless I'm there. Unless it's this deal.
So Stephanie just said it's 300. I mean,
That's what I told
she
Tom.
can sell it right the fuck now for 300.
300.
In fact, I'll buy it right now for 250.
God.
You know what? She really pisses me off. I'll fucking call up and buy the goddamn Judgment for fucking 30.
Oh, I love that. That's the best. God bless America with that deal. Seriously. That's so funny. God damn. Hey, by the way, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, no, I say it somewhat jokingly, but go buy that fucking goddamn Judgment for 30.
Not to mention the surprise show. What if I told you there was...
I just clarified. Yeah. I just clarified. You can sell that house for 300 right now.
You gotta start a moving company called GTFO. Mark.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah, get the fuck out. Here we come. Get the fuck out.
Double mortgages. And to make sure you get the best
Just
possible
insane,
price,
man.
Orchard can also handle making repairs or updates, so your home is less stressed.
You know what? I do take that shit. I know I take that shit too personally.
We got our new home.
But Mark, you remember 20 years ago when that housewife was fucking bothering you?
No matter what, I would take the opposite. No matter what.
Yeah.
I mean, unless, of course, it's against my core belief. But no matter what, you understand that there are always going to be people who like that and people that like this. So we're appeasing both without even trying. I mean, we are honestly appeasing. You know, people say, "Oh, don't be so hard," or people saying, "You're a pussy." You know, she's a bit. You can't do that.
No, I know.
Okay. Right.
Good cop, bad cop.
And it's really not even that. It's like, it's truly taking, we absolutely know that there are some people thinking this way and some people thinking that way. No one thinks 100%. We are the only ones in the world that can do that. Frost can't do it. I mean, they can't do it. This little fucking voice. Yeah, you know, yeah. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Okay, so I need to take a break here. Tom, I'm going to go back. And Stephanie, I do want to talk to you if we can. If she can hold her, we'll call her right back. Tom, what's going on with you, sir?
Well, I've come up with an idea for a product.
Okay.
And so I did a little bit of search, and there's somebody that's already selling it out there, but mine is smaller and it's made of a different material. So I was wondering if I should spend the money to do a search to see if it's patented, or can I just go ahead and start selling it if there's a certain percentage of difference between my product and his product?
Yes to both. I mean, you could go do a search and see if it's patented, or you could, well, no matter what, you're going to have to see how similar yours is from a professional standpoint. And if something is on the market and patented, you can do a knockoff if it's there's a certain allowable margin of copy and then a certain not. So, you know, for that, you need someone like Mark Trenner, who's an IP attorney, intellectual property attorney.
If it's something small and you don't think you're going to be making a lot of money, I might even say that risk is acceptable. But think about this. If it took off and he sold a ton of them and he is infringing, I mean, he'd end up getting sued and would owe him quite a bit of money.
Right, right. See, here's the deal. You have to truly get a professional, because if it is infringing, they can go back in time. I would like to know, though, this question. I think it's the first to the patent office now, not the first to use. The fact that it's been used already, let's say it wasn't patented, but the guy is clearly on the market, I wonder if that does anything at all. I think according to Mark Trenner, and we're going to get him on here in a minute or two, whatever, I think he's going to tell us that it's first to the patent office, which is totally changing. Now, 303-713-TALK. Hang on, Tom, and we will get someone to answer this. Stephanie Thomas, she's a real estate broker in Colorado Springs area, the whole Pikes Peak region. Never a complaint, ever. And we sent her out to get a market valuation, a quick one of this home. Sherry owns the home. She owes $120,000. And she has a $33,000 judgment against her, and filed on the house now. But they're not foreclosing yet. But Sherry wanted to know her options. And, you know, she seems to think that if she gets an attorney to fight, that the court's going to care if she's disabled or had cancer or can't work or can't afford it. And this is the unfortunate, well, I don't even know if it's unfortunate. This is the reality. Courts do not consider that, okay? They just do not consider that. You've seen houses sold, Stephanie, in all conditions, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And is this a home that you would say is in a condition that would not sell?
No, I don't think so. There are a couple concerns that she mentioned.
I understand that, but even with those concerns.
Well, that I feel would affect a buyer. So I did discuss with her options of selling to an investor, as is, or a buyer.
What would an investor as is, do you think, give for this property?
Well, it truly depends on those repairs, that some of them could be quite substantial, which is what she's telling. So when she tells an investor that, they are going to want to look at that, and that's where that foundation company really came into play.
But you know, home investors, for example, home investors would not look at that. Home investors is prepared to write a check that week. So I don't know how they do it. And
well, the way investors typically work when they go in to buy a property is they're going to do essentially a formula based on an ARV, which is an after repaired or renovated value, which is the market value they can get for the property. And with most investors, the ones I've worked with in the past, they like to be at 70% all in, because that additional 30, they're looking at some financing costs, they're looking at their profit margin, and all of those things. So when they're looking at that 70%, they are going to take into account the repairs needed for the property.
Let's do this then. Let's just do this. We know today somebody would pay $100,000. We know it without batting an eyelash.
If not more.
Okay, $100,000. Absolutely, they would pay it if they could. What about $200,000?
I think 200 seems pretty reasonable.
Okay. What about $250,000? And I'm serious. I'm playing this game on purpose. What about $250,000? I'm serious.
I think in this market we could get $250,000
without question. Okay. So now where does the question start? What's that?
I said where we could run into an issue, though. She did mention that a couple things with her roof, and then of course potentially foundation.
But even with that,
what are houses that same age selling for in that area?
If that house was in perfect condition, and I don't mean perfect beautiful, I just mean no issues. No issues.
Now, homes in that area, they were in a low to mid 300 range.
Okay.
So taking, of course, account for condition, the fact that there are some repairs that you can see that need to happen there, I do feel that there's value in that property.
Okay. Now, but we don't know for sure it would sell for $300,000 at this point.
I think the way our market's going, there is potential for that, but I do think because roofs can affect.
She's just trying to be careful.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying, all right? No matter what, it has more value, more than they need to foreclose. That's the entire point. So, Sherry, Mark's assertion or Mark's contention is that with that value, they will not settle. I don't think that's true. I think that even with that value, there's still hassle involved, and I think
if they have in-house attorneys like a lot of these people do, they will build up that pricing from that $33,000
Let's ask
to
Frank
50
Ball.
plus.
Let's ask Frank Ball. He's in the business. Because why are we speculating?
That's a good idea.
Mark doesn't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Let's find out. Let's just ask him what he thinks and get an expert. And then Deputy Doc also has a follow coming up or wants to comment on the landlord-tenant situation.
Tell your smart device to play 630 KHOW on iHeartRadio.
Well, he's got a little different because he gets paid when they get paid.
He's not going to make the decision. The creditor will, but he will know what more than likely would happen. He really does know. He really knows. And Mark, I think where you're wrong is credit card companies are not the same as like a bank. It's not the same as
credit card companies. Are you kidding? They can get totally fucked. I mean, they could end up with zero.
No. I mean, I don't think they think as much as you think they do. In other words,
I do. Think of all the foreclosures in 2010 that stayed on the market for 4 or 5 years.
No, I think
they kept that inventory. They didn't want to sell that. They wanted everything. They're not.
No, I don't think that.
They're not fast cash.
What the hell am I saying? But yes, they are. See, I think they're not going to do 50%, but I think you're putting too much weight on the equity. They don't want fucking hassles. They're down and dirty people. You don't think they are. I think they're down and dirty.
What do they get? 8 to 10% a year, plus whatever fees they have?
Well, if they get it.
In certain states, sales provided by independent optometrists. Store for details.
I love my landscaper, and I'll tell you why. Because I get value, I get great pricing, and I know him. But, I met him so many years ago, Mr. Green Jeans and his family. So Mr. Green Jeans is the name of the company, and that means Bob. Dahlbottom. Tammy's his wife. Tammy's part of the biz. So is his son, Travis. And together they make up Mr. Green Jeans. And also they have workers, of course. They do cleanup, aeration, tree and shrub care, sprinkler installation, repair, fertilizer treatment. They've been in business since 91. That's 30 years. I love them. Good value, good people, good products, good services. What can you say? 303-426-4945, 426-4945. Now, speaking of good people, how about this small company? SimplyFloorsInc.com is the website where you make your own appointment. Simply Floors Inc. And you'll find the company run by Buddy and Karen Mitchell, who, by the way, are part of a buying group, which allows them to buy at extraordinary low prices, just like the big boxes. But Buddy and Karen do something else. They pass those savings, most of them, of course, on to consumers, along with better installers, better warranties, better financing. Overall, you're getting 20, 30, sometimes 40%. You can make your own appointment at SimplyFloorsInc.com.
The roller coaster stock markets make you nervous? Touch free from ups and downs. No flat market volatility to derail your retirement. Hi, I'm Linda Gardner, host of Your Money, Your Retirement, Saturday on 630 KO. If you're concerned about the markets, call today to schedule a complimentary review of your portfolio. Call even keep the price of ammo. 120-488-8614 or online, yourmoneyyourretirement.com.
It's such a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
They're amazing. Did you know 20% of stars have planets?
Oh, that's so funny.
Sustaining life.
How did you know that?
There's a lady that works for iHeart with my last name.
I know.
You knew that?
Yes, of course.
How does she pronounce it?
Mager.
Well,
Mager or something. It's not Major. I know.
Then she's all wrong.
Wait a minute, Mark. We talked to her before. I thought. Who does she represent? What am I?
It was just a LinkedIn thing. I have no idea.
From personal development to history, management, investing, philosophy, and more. Books like A Beautiful Mind, The 4-Hour Work Week, Freakonomics, and Safety Nets. Blinkist makes it easier to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars?
Even the stars. Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.
Did she get ball?
/relax. To get the special offer,
no, not yet.
/relax.
He might be taking a long weekend.
ist.com/RELAX.
Yeah, but his cell phone answer.
I had a great conversation with him not long ago.
About the potential, you know who?
No. This was on air. It was about landlords that have judgments right now.
What do you mean judgments, Mark? What do you mean? Do they go out and get judgments?
They'd be crazy not to for past due.
When they go to
forget the eviction. I'm talking the past due.
When they go, when they go to
the eviction, it's separate deal. No, you got to still get the judgment for past due or breach of contract or whatever it's for. You got to get that
because
that's where all the money's at, boy.
Use the power of radio to connect with spring spenders.
You know what? Then you take them and you sell them.
No shit, you bundle them like a fucking mortgage. You get a handful of them that are from across all kinds.
Wait, another shooting.
I know, I just said that to those guys in there.
Then hear it on the radio.
Was it a person of color?
I have no idea. I don't know who shot who. Shit's getting crazy. I'm going to have to start carrying again, damn it.
Cloud has a silver lining, right? Well, today I'm going to prove it. Rising political and economic uncertainty is
so I heard one of the
so to help protect
long range possible
Voice America has a very special offer.
The backs.
Yeah, what? Your pecker falls off. Arthritis.
A flare up.
Yeah, but you would, I bet you, maybe if you were really young and got it, but you mean even someone in their 50s or something?
I've been out of pain for so long, and then all of a sudden,
calling 800.
Two things happen. The vaccination and this fucking botch.
I think it's more of that than anything.
Nerves.
92. Put a silver lining in your portfolio now.
Dude, you realize my over shit had me jacked up? Well, you saw my blood pressure and shit. It was fucking crazy. My shit's almost back to normal because the things are almost worn off.
Yeah, but listen, man.
Amazingly low price of just
I think yours probably had an infection of some sort.
630.
Did you see the blood? Oh, you didn't see the bruise.
No, but you explained it pretty damn good. You were purple.
Yeah, purple. Like all around, like a rat.
And it all led back to that.
I got up and I noticed it because I didn't notice it until I got up in the
See, you're much easier. If I woke up and like,
and I was so
I'm in my underwear going to take a piss and saw
I went
that.
like this and went, no, my heart
I'd
started
pull
beating.
a Fred Sanford.
I was thinking, am I bleeding inside? Am I like, what's going on with me?
I'd be like, Suzanne! You always think you're worse than me on that shit. I'm telling you, man. The anxiety health shit brings me is beyond anything else ever. I think I'd rather get robbed at gunpoint than be told certain health risks. How's that?
Call 303-989-6500 for your free consultation. That's 303-989-6500 or visit laserfilm.info.
All the benefits of IVs at your door. Rocky Mountain IV Medics, hydration, immunosupport, migraines.
Stephanie and I, we laugh. We live like old people. We laugh because we don't do a lot. I mean, we do, but we don't. And we talk about the Bluebird specials at the cafes. We go to eat at 4 o'clock. Hi, Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK. We don't
have a lot of time. I want to bring up Mark Trenner, an IP attorney. All of these balls are still in the air. We're going to talk to Sherry again and Stephanie Thomas about that house and that judgment, but I got to get to Mark Trenner. Mark, is a certain amount of overlap allowed if there's an invention and yours is kind of like it?
Oh, what do you mean overlap?
I don't know, like similarities. I don't even know what that. I just mean kind of like similarities. I mean,
yeah, I mean you can patent something. It does, but even if it's not identical, the test is whether it would be obvious to somebody having ordinary skill in whatever area you're talking about. So there can be some overlap, but it can't be an obvious change. Obvious changes might be like making something longer or shorter, or making something bigger, making something out of metal instead of out of plastic, things like that.
Okay, so in other words, a patent covers, but isn't there something called a utility patent and then something called a design patent, right? Are they two different things?
Right. They are. Design protects the appearance, what something looks like, and the utility protects its function.
So would a Croc shoe be design or function?
They actually did have design patents on those.
Okay. So, Mark, if we could call you back, we would certainly appreciate it, because I have more questions. Sure. Okay. And he's located at 720-221-3708 if you ever need advice on inventions, trademarks, copyrights. We have more coming up. Stay tuned.
You know, owning
God, we got a lot going on today. Holy shit.
And if you're a veteran or on active duty, a VA loan could be the perfect.
Police, 2 people dead, 1 officer in.
And I want to tell people, I want to confess my road rage incident.
What'd you do?
I'm not going to tell what year, but I'm going to tell you, but something I never thought I would do. I chased someone down. Fuck,
What'd they do, cut you off?
I could have been killed. I could have been killed.
Was it a female? Was it an elderly driver? Who is this person?
100% of your home's value, meaning a lot more money for you and your
I
family.
guess you don't know the meaning of the word.
Take advantage of
You know the way you throw around that word elderly? I do not like that.
Did I say that? No, you did. You just said it. I didn't. You just said, was it an elderly person? I never mentioned that because I don't want to. I want to keep. Oh, is this yours, Mark? Is this yours?
AmericanFinancing.net.
I don't think so. Yeah, it must be. If it's not yours, here, I'll finish.
No, it was there.
Yeah, if it was there.
I'm going to get some.
HD2 Denver.
KHOW Denver and iHeartRadio.
Oh, it's Big Break.
On our free iHeartRadio app. #1 for music radio.
Our ball game got canceled tonight.
What ball? You were going to a game?
Yeah. So they're moving it till tomorrow.
Mark, it's not going to be tomorrow, will it?
Yeah, they have another game tomorrow. They'll turn it into a doubleheader.
But the field's covered, right?
I don't. Trust me, I have no idea why they cancel, when they cancel. I don't pretend to know shit about baseball. Honestly.
Very organized
Brooke Baldwin, why does she look familiar?
All the evidence that's there on the scene. The White House says President Biden has been briefed. Earlier, Vice President
8 killed.
That was yesterday.
No. Yesterday we had 8.
Yeah, this is today.
What the fuck?
This was either FedEx. Yeah, FedEx.
It had to be a prior worker, right? Someone that got fired?
Guilty plea so far from the January 6 riots.
Is that him? No. I don't know why these pictures are up there.
They're all past shooting victims.
13-year-old boy shot by Chicago.
These are all people shot. Was the 13-year-old a black boy?
I have no idea, man. I don't even know when that was. Was that yesterday? That has nothing to do with the FedEx.
Yeah, they're just recapping gun violence.
Second to the U.S., it's Germany that has the
I don't know, man. It's nuts.
1,109 soldiers on the ground. The spokesperson for the German Federal Ministry of Defense confirming to ABC News they will now be coming home in September. This comes just days after the U.S. announced it would also leave Afghanistan, effectively ending America's longest.
Like my neighbor Dave, he's like, this guy's got more guns and shit. More vehicles, trailers, guns, toys, fucking boats.
How do you like
with
that?
pallets.
For a bumper sticker. Douglas County, Coleman, we shoot back.
We shoot first.
That's even a little better, isn't it?
Just for fun, call 911.
Let's hear it too.
It's going to get funky out there. I think today, no mask, no nothing anymore.
Have you ever heard these tunes? Listen.
Here.
Let's hear one. I'm serious. They're good.
What do you mean?
His tunes that he does are
Like, how do you do it?
And they're original. They're not copies. I mean, fucking rap is hard enough when you have to.
Is it you rapping?
Yeah.
I just performed at a show. I performed at Herman's Hideaway last month.
Oh, you were at Herman's?
Yeah.
No shit. Were you a headliner?
I was right before the headliner. I was the guy right before.
That's called the warm-up.
How'd it go? Did it go good?
Yeah, people told me that I should have been the headliner, so that inflated my ego.
No shit. Now wait a minute. How do you get music on stage? With your phone?
Nope, I just record everything and I give it to the guy. I normally give it to the DJ, have them play.
But you do it live or work?
Yeah, I do it live.
Fine. Listen to this. I'm serious. I was shocked. I went and listened after you showed me. But you can't play it on the radio because it's dirty now. Listen. He writes it and does it.
I didn't put those violins in there. My editor put those because that was not in the beat.
It's yours too.
What's this one for?
Okay.
Listen. I know. I love it.
It sounds like something you'd fucking hear.
Do you do that live? Yeah, I was going to ask that. That's not editing that. How do you do it that fast? Fucking hold on.
I practiced for years.
You listen to fucking Slim Shady. You want your fast. Have you ever heard that shit?
Yeah, I do a lot of his verses to practice.
My son has Slim Shady shit all over his phone. And I said, Bonnie, that's got to be special effects. I mean, that is the supernatural. That shit.
No, I really before each song, I just I just go.
Oh,
and then I can't I just literally keep all of it and I just start
But hold on, so you write it all out or
when I get my money, I'm gonna have song because it's working crazy. I can do it. Or get every day because the house got vision and fast and stuff. They don't want supposed to seem like something like if you want to run me.
Holy shit! I love it.
I just keep practicing so I go faster until I can
write. Do you talk it first and then write it out, or do you write it all out?
Yeah, how do you? I write it. I write a verse and then I'll rap it and then I'll go in there and see if there's anything I need to edit.
Do you add
go
shit?
do another one.
See, here's what I find hard. Like when we were doing regular music, it's easier because you go dun, 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 dun. But this you're going dun, 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 and then you don't know it's going to sound good unless you, like you said, you got to rap it and then you might have to drop a syllable or add a word, right?
Yeah.
But here's the ones I don't like. The fucking guys who do shit like that, they make up words. There's like, hey, scenario. I mean, they just start fucking saying words, and it doesn't mean anything. But Eminem does real words, and God Almighty is good. Do you like Eminem or not?
Yeah, I hate that he doesn't get the amount of respect that he should.
Why doesn't he? Well,
He's a legend. He's got a shitload of money.
He has a whole lot of money, yes, but there's like all the old school rappers. Like even Snoop Dogg, and I'll beef with him because he's not a black rapper.
Oh, I got you. But listen to this, man. I remember Chris Rock was hosting the Emmys or the Grammys. He said, the number one golfer in the world is black. The number one rapper is white. We're living in an upside down world.
Nice when you can make jokes like that. You got to put me back in like 15 seconds, by the way.
Okay, Mark Trenner's on. Then I'm getting Frank Ball.
They still got the intro though, so they got plenty of time.
Yeah. But yeah, it's fun to make him run.
Oh wait, they had a thing. They actually had like 45 seconds. Okay, there's that. At least they're back in there. All right, about 10 seconds, guys. Here you go.
The 12K. I'll edit them, make them ready.
Or I would like you do one like about what we do here.
Troubleshooter Show.
I can try to come up with something, yeah.
Tino, the Troubleshooter.
Welcome to the show. I'm Tom Martino. Without further ado, let me just get to the phones. I want to tell you about Harris Family Law, though, because that is a place to go if you're even contemplating a divorce. They're good people, and they give you guidance when you need it the most. But here's what I love, their early neutral assessment. They will help you look at a divorce and exactly what it will do. It's like a virtual walkthrough of divorce, a virtual reality almost. You know what I'm saying? They'll tell you what it looks like, what it will cost, what you can expect. And anyway, HarrisFamilyLaw.com are the people, and they do collaborative law, which is non-confrontational to the extent possible. 303-622. Oh, wait, they gave me another number that was easier to remember, Suzanne. Do you remember that, Harris Family Law? Because I'm going to use that one from now on. But the number I have is 303-622-3716. And I'll give you their other number. But anyway, we always recommend good people when we come across them because that's what we do here. And Mark Trenner's one of them. He's an IP attorney. And we had questions about inventions. So I'm going to go with him. I just had that topic just before the end of the hour. Mark, Tom has an invention similar to another invention. And we talked about two types of inventions, design and utility. See if I understand this correctly. Would utility patent be drip coffee, period? How to make drip coffee, like the process of water dripping into a filter and then coming out the other end. And a design would be something like Keurig or maybe Keurig's not drip, but something like Mr. Coffee, stuff like that. Is that the difference between design and function or not?
So the example that I always give is the like a ceiling fan.
Okay.
If you walk into Home Depot or Lowe's, you see a bunch of different designs for ceiling fans. They all look different. That would be a design patent. You can't patent a ceiling fan because a motor that drives the fan is already known.
Okay.
If you could, that would be the utility, but what it looks like is the design.
But isn't the design patent, or isn't the stronger patent the utility?
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Okay, I want to talk to Tom because I want to ask Tom. Tom, is your thing similar in design or in function?
Both.
Oh, what is the since this is something already on the market, the one that you saw, what is its function? I'm not asking how it does it, but what is it? Is it a screwdriver? What is it?
It's an item to prevent fire.
Okay, I get it. So you have a fire prevention product that now the utility would be totally different from the design, and that's where Mark Trenner comes in. You can't possibly do this alone. Mark, I don't think people can do this alone anymore, do you?
No, I don't think that you should, especially with design patents. That can be tricky, but really the utility as well. And just to your point, Tom, you can apply for both a design and a utility patent if your invention has both.
But the utility would cover way more, because even if somebody tries to change the design, they can't do the utility unless they change that too. So let's get right to this.
That's right.
If Tom wants to know, first, is the other invention patented? Second, if it is, does he infringe, and by how much, or what can he do? What would that cost approximately?
Yeah, so really what we'd be looking at is can he get a patent in view of what's out there before? Because a lot of the time, the other patent may have been expired. It may have never issued. Just doing a basic patentability search and opinion to see if what he's got is patentable. We do that for a law firm flat fee of $500.
Man, you cannot beat that for $500. Okay, hold on. One other question. If Tom saw something that's been on the market for 8 years, but the guy never patented it, can you go to the patent office and actually patent it and stop him?
So the other product that's out there, can you get a patent for it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm asking, if something is on the market but no one actually got it patented, isn't it first to the patent office? And if so, can I stop the guy?
No, I mean, if it's out there already, then it's just considered public domain. You can't put a patent on it. If somebody else came up with it and decided they didn't want to patent it and just put it out there, it's public domain. You can't go patent it.
Unless you do something unique with it.
Yeah, you'd have to be unique over what was already came before you.
What if how long does it take to be public domain?
I mean, it just depends. If I make a fire extinguisher, since we're talking about fire suppressant, if I make a new type of fire extinguisher and I just start selling it, I put it out there, nobody else could get a patent for my fire extinguisher. Now, if they come up with one that works differently, as long as it's a non-obvious difference over what I put out there, then you can apply for your own.
Mark, I'm asking how long? If I put it out there for 24 hours, is it unpatentable?
Yeah. So if you put it out there for 24 hours, then you change your mind and you want to patent it, you're fine as long as you're within 1 year.
But if someone else wants to patent it and it's been out 24 hours, can they?
Yeah, then it's prior art. It's out there already.
Okay, I get it. So that's why non-disclosures are important, and it's important if you have an invention not to be showing it to everybody, right?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, now, Mark Trenner, 720-221-3708. 720-221-3708. Trenner Law. He's on a referral list at referrallist.com. Now I want to go to Frank Ball, an attorney at law who does collections. He does mostly commercial collections, of course. He's not on the referral list because he's mostly business to business, and there's not a lot of call for that from consumers, but he's a great guy. We use him as a consultant all the time. Now, Frank Ball, we have a very interesting question. This is a scenario, let's say, where Sherry has a house. Let's say there's some deferred maintenance on the house. Who knows how much? Could be 25, could be 50 grand. Let's say, now, she owes $120,000 on the house. The amount doesn't matter when I get to this actual question. But let's say then she has, or she does, have a judgment of $33,000. Added together, it comes to $153,000. So let's call it $150,000 for them to get to zero. They'd have to do selling expenses and all that. They have a judgment. It's filed on her house. If they start foreclosure, she's in trouble because let's say the house is worth $300,000. Now, here's what I want to ask you, Frank. And Mark and I were having this discussion. When would they take a settlement? Mark's contention is when you got all that equity, let's say there's 150 to break even and 150 above that approximately, or even 100. Why would anyone settle? And I'm saying credit card companies or people like that might want to settle to avoid hassle. But what do you see? You're the one in the business. What do you see? Well, is Mark's inclination correct that they may not settle when you have a lot of equity?
Well, it really depends. The first part of the question, it seems like
why would you pay anybody anything? At some point in time, a lien is only good if you sell it, if you sell the home. If you're never going to sell the home, the lien stays there, but it's a no harm, no foul situation.
Wait, can't they foreclose on a judgment?
Yeah, but they can. But credit card companies, and I represented credit card companies for 25 years of my life.
Okay.
When I was a younger man, they don't want to be in the business of buying houses or foreclosing on houses for $30,000. They're in the business of loaning people money on credit cards. So the chances of a collection lawyer foreclosing on a house just to get $33,000, it's not a very high percentage.
So if someone said you got a $33,000 judgment on this house, we offer you $15,000. Even if there's a lot of equity, you're saying they don't want to foreclose, they don't want to own houses. Do you think they would be inclined to a settlement?
Of course. So now, money talks.
But how much we don't. But how much we don't know. Obviously, they wouldn't. Well, I don't think would they take $10,000 on 33. Who knows? Maybe they would. If you have Sherry, now I'm asking you, and not as a person, but in this situation of business. Sherry's a surviving cancer patient with disabilities. The house has deferred maintenance. She barely makes enough to make her own payments. The house is worth, let's say, $300,000. She owes $150,000 with the judgment. Would they take $10,000 on $33,000? Do you think?
Well, maybe. It all depends on what the status of the person is. If somebody's gainfully employed and making $50,000, well, no, they're not going to work a deal. On the other hand, if somebody's retirement age and they're 70 years old and they're not working, then it's what's called judgment proof. They have no ability to give, and the collection company or the bank has no ability to take their ongoing money. So then it's a matter of what they have and all.
And how much of the equity is protected, Frank?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's 100. I think it's 100 if you're disabled. I think it's 100 if you're old or disabled.
Oh, it may be 100. I can't answer that question.
So
exactly.
That even puts her in a better position, because if you take the 150, that would be break even. You take selling expenses and another 100 in homestead exemption. If it is 100, I'm not positive, but you're getting closer to the, hey, maybe they will take a settlement, and maybe Sherry isn't that far off wanting to offer 10. However, hold on. There's another thing Mark brought up. We keep saying a credit card company. Mark thinks, and we don't know this, that possibly someone bought that debt. Is that possible, Frank? Do they sell those debts pretty quickly?
It depends on the bank. Sometimes they get sold, sometimes they don't.
Just ask her who it is.
Sherry, do you know if anyone bought that judgment, or is it the original credit card company? Do you know? Sherry, are you there? Boy, okay, hold on. I hope she's listening, because this is really good news for her. Frank Ball, by the way, collection attorney, 303-629-7000. We're done with this. We're just going to make sure Sherry gets that information, and I think someone should try to negotiate for her. We have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show.
30 seconds till ideal and fix it.
Fuel system can make your car run better and improve gas mileage. Visit O'Reilly Auto Parts and pick up a bottle of Chevron Techron Fuel System Cleaner and add it to your tank during your next fill-up. On sale now, buy one, get one free at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop by and talk to our professional parts people today, or visit
All right, about 5 seconds. Here you go. Ideal and fix it.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Fix it 24/7. And my friend George Donaldson, the owner, they pledge to you 100% satisfaction guaranteed, and prices up front, 100% up front, so you know the price of everything before they begin. And here's the bottom line. You can get a full diagnosis for $39. They come to your house, licensed, insured, background check, and no matter how long it takes, they come up and assess your situation. If you decide to have the work done, they credit you the $39. If not, that's all you pay. FixMyHome.com is the website. The number, 720-526-3939. 720-526-3939. So, right now, rates went up just a little. Sometimes they go down just a little. Ideal Home Loans takes that out of the equation by saying this: if you need a loan, get a loan. Rates are pretty dang good. Then, if rates go down even further, they refinance you free of charge. Plus, they have the pick your own term loan, no matter how long you want that loan. Whether you can't, you don't have to go back to 30 and 15. You can't go above 30, but you can pick anything you want in between. A 12-year loan, a 17-year loan, a 23-year loan, whatever it is, you can take 24-year loan, and they'll do it. IdealHomeLoans.com for your next ideal home loan. They can get you started on the phone or online, whatever you'd like. IdealHomeLoans.com, 303-867-7000.
It's such a beautiful night. Look at the stars.
They're amazing. Did you know 20% of stars have planets orbiting them capable of sustaining life?
How did you know that? You must spend a ton of time reading.
Not at all. I use Blinkist.
Blinkist?
Yeah, it's an app that takes
I want to try this.
over 4,000
Did you hear about this
bestsellers and gathers them into 10 minutes
Listen to this commercial.
for you to read or listen to. With Blinkist, you can learn the main points of an entire book in just 15 minutes, as opposed to days or weeks.
What kind of books?
Non-fiction books in over 27 categories, from personal development to history, management, investing, philosophy, and more. Books like A Beautiful Mind, The 4-Hour Workweek, Freakonomics, and Sapiens. Blinkist makes it easy to learn about pretty much anything.
Like the stars?
Even the stars.
Right now, radio listeners get 25% off, plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/relax. To get the special offer, go to Blinkist.com/relax.
We have a lot of
That's BLINKIST.com/RELAX.
If you drive a car, truck, SUV, or vehicle of any kind, then you need the Get Upside app. The free gas app that pays you back for
we probably
every
don't have
gallon
any
of gas you buy.
information. It's down below the whole
Over
cost.
America, earning as much as $300 a year cash back just by buying gas.
I always use the Get Upside app. Some months I make $200 to $300.
I love the Get Upside app. I get free money for things I do every day.
There's no catch. It's real money, and you get your
Like you need Bruder.
Download the free
Those
Get Upside app now in
motherfuckers,
the App
Mark,
Store
we hear
or Google
about that
Play to
all
save
the
up
time.
to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CASHBACK for a 25-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your next fill up. Cash out anytime using PayPal or an e-gift card to Amazon, Starbucks, and other brands. Earn cash back with every fill up. Download the free Get Upside app and use promo code
Remember
CASHBACK.
inmate care packages?
Promo code CASHBACK.
Yeah, you crook.
You know why I do commercials
Yeah, but
simply for Zinc Diet?
yeah, nobody cares, is what you're going to say, right?
Consumer advocate Mark Major.
No, I'm not going to say no one cares. I'm saying I don't know why people would think that anybody could just send anything to people in prison.
It's amazing to me, though, how these fucking people got ripped off and no one...
That one was good because Marty actually went there. Remember, he went, it was some strip mall in Florida.
He said, and the guy Shade that comes to get it.
And they kicked him out. The owner of the coffee store / mailbox, etc., or whatever it was.
Nicotine lozenges are smoke-free and hassle-free and made to enjoy virtually anywhere. Why? Because they dissolve, but the flavor doesn't. So go ahead and enjoy on your time and on your terms. Philo lozenges are available at a convenience store near you or at philo.com. Get yours now. Website restricted to age 21 plus nicotine consumers. Nicotine products. Underage sale prohibited.
Okay, Frank Bowl had something else today to say, and I do have Sherry back.
Presented by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection.
Mark, I know you don't like Sherry, but I want to give her hope.
That's fine. I mean, I don't want her getting kicked out. I just think she's.
I know. When she said she was useless, I know that was terrible. What she said, she went like this. Oh yeah, she was useless.
I know.
That's like saying Frank Durant. You know what? That would be like saying Frank Durant's useless. She is such a sweetheart. God almighty. Boy, did Mike not deserve her.
Monitor and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code REDS.
Stay connected.
Do they have how many kids? Two.
Sign up for
Are they sweet?
Email now.
Yeah, of course.
KNH.com/newsletter. Breaking news, weather, sports, and more from our community.
Like you said, not all kids are.
No, that's true, but I mean, you could usually the parents tell the story.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK. SentryRV.com.
At exit 240 and I-25 or north of 6th Avenue between Kipling and Sims. SentryRV.com. New and used, great pricing, 303-453-1111. And that's based on personal experience. Now, let's talk. We have Frank Ball, collection attorney, who has something else to say, but I want to say to Sherry, we got at least some hope for you, Sherry. Now, Sherry, here's some hope, and this is what it is. The judgment's been on there a long time. It's for $33,000. Your house has deferred maintenance. You also have a homestead exemption. Plus, you know, there's the hassle of selling it. So they just may, according to this famous collection attorney who knows the practices of credit card companies and collectors, they may be in the mood to settle. You're not too far off thinking you can settle. I think you can. Now, that maybe not, right? It's all up to them. But I think we're in better condition now after hearing this than we were, because I believe that they don't want the hassle.
Have you not asked them to settle?
Well, hold on. Remember this. You don't want to wake the giant. They have not made a move to foreclose, have they, Sherry?
No.
And how long has that judgment been on there?
6 years.
But they've amped up the calls and the letters, Tom.
Okay, they filed it on your house 6 years ago. Is that right?
Yes, they got a judgment on a reviver.
Right.
And they keep...
But did they file it on your house, or maybe I'm asking the wrong question. Frank, are those judgments automatically on your real estate?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
You have to put a judgment lien on the house. But it's typically a 6-year statute of limitations on a county court case.
Yeah, but they already got the judgment.
Once, they have to revive it again.
I know, they did.
Revive it again, then it's deemed satisfied by the court.
Now, I'm only going by what Sherry's saying. And I think this is how old the original debt was. How old, Sherry?
The original debt was almost 15 years ago.
But according to Sherry, and Frank, we don't know this, they did get a judgment back in the day, and it was renewed since then. Maybe they didn't do it right, Frank. Maybe you would find that it's not valid. But let's just right now, for argument's sake, say it's valid. They might be in the mood to settle. Because it's so old.
But don't settle on something if it's deemed satisfied. Sherry, what you need to do is go to the courthouse or call them and find out exactly the date of the judgment. Once you know the date of the judgment, you need to figure out the next step, which is what the date was on the reviver. In order to revive, they have to personally serve you or serve a family member. So if they've done it correctly, that's when the revival starts again, and then they have to do it again in 6 years. So if you don't get served the second time around because they couldn't serve you, maybe that judgment is already satisfied.
Right. Now, Frank, I want to ask you something. Do credit card companies, are they usually tenacious enough to keep reviving judgments?
It has nothing to do with the credit card company. It has to do with the attorney. Some attorneys are very, very
lax.
They'll like me, and I'll revive everything all the time. Others don't really give a damn and don't care if it falls off and gets satisfied. You have to have the right process server. You have to jump through the hoops, and you have to do it correctly. So it depends on who is doing it, but it has nothing to do with the credit card company or the bank, and more has to do with the individual attorney who has.
You're absolutely right with everything, and we learn so much. And you know, Frank, we don't even really know if they have filed a lien against the house. Go ahead, Suze.
Tom, now, Sherry explained something to me off the air. She met, I believe, with a bankruptcy attorney, but definitely an attorney recently. And I think she should explain what he said to her about filing a bankruptcy to get rid of this. This is where Sherry's at.
A bankruptcy may not get rid of this. So
she's like within so close to being able to file and scratch this debt. There's a little hiccup that she needs to explain.
Okay, we can. But I think that the very first thing we do, and I'll let Sherry explain that, but I think according to Frank, the very first thing, we need to have someone verify that this judgment is still alive and well, and then that it's been filed against her real estate. That's pretty obvious basic steps, right, Frank? Okay, so Sherry, what did the bankruptcy attorney tell you?
It has been filed on my property.
Okay, all right. That part we know, but we don't know if it's valid still. Keep going.
And the reviver is getting to the end of the first 6 years. And he said
maybe he did that.
He said the goal was if we could get a certified engineer and contractor in here and pay him a fee, and we could show on the 22 items that we claim are broken, I have mold, etc., we might be able to get a 7 and scratch the lien based upon a proper estimate on what's a really very damaged home, but
what he's saying, Sherry, he wants to show that the house isn't worth it. This is where you were going in to begin with, but we did not understand it. By chiseling down the value of that home, that debt, that lien they have becomes unsecured and is canceled by a Chapter 7 because you would not have any security against it. That's what that attorney was saying. That attorney was accurate when it comes to bankruptcy. If you can establish that the home is in disrepair and has problems, the equity would not be there. That would then become an unsecured debt that would be discharged. Yeah, that is exactly what.
But you could have all the paperwork in the world. If there's someone there to offer $250, $300 for it, it doesn't matter. People buy stuff all the time.
But here's the point. In bankruptcy court, the trustee takes over, not the credit card company.
No, I'm saying
the trustee's not going to sell it. If the trustee, the trustee will first look at the value, look at the problems, the selling costs, and the homestead exemption. If the margins are too close, they're not even going to offer it for sale. In other words, you say if someone's there, but who's going to be there? I'm saying
if I'm one of the creditors and I get notice of this bankruptcy and she owes me $33,000, I could go to the trustee, absolutely, and say, hey, that is worth $250 or $300.
Mark, okay, first of all, a creditor can't go to the trustee and simply break protocol and say, I want to buy the house, because there are presumably other creditors. But if a creditor was to say that, they're right back in their original position. I don't think they would say that, because having a bankruptcy, gives them the ability to write this thing off once and for all. They don't look at it the same way as we do. I think, Frank, we're looking at this as if we were owed the money. I mean, do you think a collector is going to go to a bankruptcy trustee and say, hey, we dispute those repairs, we dispute this, we dispute that, we're going to buy the house? Do you think that would happen?
I don't think so, no, because when you think about it, at that point in time, the bank is going to have to pay the attorney on an hourly basis, and they have to know better that they're going to get their money out of it. They don't want to, it's real money. They'll pay the lawyer, so they don't want to pay the lawyer $15,000 or $10,000 in hopes to maybe get $33,000 if they don't think they're going to win the case.
Yeah.
It's not a good idea to try losers.
No, I get it. Frank Ball, by the way, just if people are listening, if you're in business, want a good collector, 303-629-7000. Mark, I think the point is, and I know we got to take a break.
I am so done with this.
No, here's the point, Mark. The point is, We are looking at this as if we're owed money personally. And I know that you would go to the end of the earth. I know you would. But, Mark, people don't do it.
My only point is the house, I don't know where she's going to get someone to say the house isn't worth what the house is worth. Who's going to do it?
They're not going to say that. What they're going to say is it needs this repair or that repair. And then the attorney, the bankruptcy attorney, will present that argument. They're very good at
Then she needs to hire an engineer and get it done.
I know. That's what she has to do.
This is Get Found Fast, Frank Duran.
She was trying to tell us that in the beginning, Mark, but she didn't know what the hell she was asking. Honest to God, it all boiled down to that. I swear to God.
Now, Impact Traffic.
Can you do these two? I want to do
by the Ben Ferguson podcast.
I think it all boils down to that.
Troubles in the foothills. Highway 6 remains closed both directions through Clear Creek Canyon due to a crash. It's between Highway 58 and 119. To estimate the time of reopening. Also, watch out for the right lane block due to a vehicle fire westbound I-70 at Georgetown. Solid backups on that stretch. In town, got a crash on southbound Highway 85 at 104 causing delays. Just to avoid the area for now. Fox 31 pinpoint weather. Going to be a good chance of snow showers the rest of the day with a high of 26. Tonight, snow showers continue overnight, a low of 27. Right now, light snow in spots and 30. With your Impact Traffic and Weather, I'm Pete Wagner, 630 K-How. There are big news stories that 10 seconds without that every day. We tell you what those stories are on the Ben Ferguson Show podcast. Download the Ben Ferguson podcast on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts right now.
Man, I love Fridays. It's Friday after the show. Suzanne and I are going to hit a brewery. We try to hit a new brewery all the time. And you know what you do? You simply type in Google on your phone, breweries near me. And guess what? The ones near you pop up. You know why? Because the owners of those breweries know how to do their SEO. If you own a company, I don't care what it is, and have a company or corporate website, you need to check in with Get Found Fast. They will look at your website for you free over a webinar. They'll tell you if you're mobile friendly. They'll tell you your biggest competitors. And more importantly, they'll tell you why your competitors come up before you. GetFoundFast.com. We use them for referral lists. We use them for our Facebook. These guys are great. Check them out. Take advantage of the free webinar. It's free, and it'll give you all the information you need. GetFoundFast.com. Now, we were talking with Stephanie Thomas. She's a realtor in the Colorado Springs area. Right here in Denver, we have probably the best realtor I've ever met in my life. All he does is Denver Metro, Front Range. Frank Duran, the real estate man, I've used him personally. Tom has used him personally. He saved me so much on the house we purchased, I can't even tell you. He negotiated that thing down because he pulled an O&E. He found out that the people were still paying a mortgage. They had moved out over a year ago, and they had another mortgage on another property in another state. Frank came to me and said, hey, this is good. These guys have 2 big mortgages right now. If we went in with enough cash, they would probably take a great offer. And that's exactly what he did. And the house is appreciated so much, I can't even tell you. He will do a free analysis on your house right now. There's no pressure, I promise you. He's the nicest guy in the world. Go to frankduranhomes.com or give him a call right now, 303-920-1622. 303-920-1622.
Huge changes in our economy. This is our world. Pay attention to your spending and your savings. Don't waste money. Importantly, don't turn your head on ways that you could save. For example, a mortgage refinance. Hey, it's Ross Kaminsky for American Financing, reminding you that a mortgage refinance is more than...
Do you want to come up with a plan with Mike and Stephanie, or just wait till later?
Yeah, I might meet Mike, or we might meet Mike.
And Steph?
No, the other Mike.
Mike.
Doyle.
Oh.
And I don't know, I got to see what time he's going to leave Vandermeer, because I'm not going to wait around this area too long. But I am so sick of this call.
But what time are we meeting? What was the tentative?
I have no idea, because he doesn't know what time he'll be back from bed.
What does he even want to meet about? A beer? Does he just want to meet? Is that what you're saying? Just meeting for a beer?
I'm telling you, I'm going to puke on this call. I'd rather go to the dentist and have my fucking toes cut off.
No, we're done then. We're done with the call.
You know what? I'm going to give her Mark's cell phone for personal.
No, yeah, for sure.
You know?
You know, I actually hate this about myself. She irritated me so much. I get so fucking mad.
Because she's, you know, that's...
Because exactly what she said.
I know, Mark. God damn it. I know it. But sometimes, you know what? Fuck. This is the true thing. Both ways. Whether you like something or hate something, the fucking callers don't always agree with you. I've ruined shows by talking about shit I love to talk about that no one else gives a fuck about. And I've also ruined shows by being so angry and treating someone like a piece of shit that other people thought was unfair.
Yeah, that's why I just can't deal with her anymore.
I know, but what you have to do is fight it. That's all. Not now.
Stephanie
not
had
now.
no dog. Stephanie had no dog in that fight. She was just trying to help us.
We all know that. I feel like we set Stephanie up. That's what I feel. Not a purpose.
Sounds golden, for God's sake.
No, of course we did. That's not what I'm saying. I feel like we sent her out to help, her own time, spent everything.
That's what happens
and the lady
bitch. Not everyone, but a lot of people are ungrateful.
I want a report saying my house is only worth $20.
But we're not bringing her back.
Oh, we're done? She needs to get her engineering reports and all that bullshit.
She needs to get engineers and stuff to support. That bankruptcy attorney she had was excellent.
Okay.
Whoever it was excellent.
That show is useless.
Open houses, double moves, or double mortgages.
You just get too bent out of shape, though.
And shit, when's the last time I've been like this with a
But
caller?
you carry it too long.
I know. We carried the damn call too long.
You carry those feelings too long and fucking people don't care. That's all I'm saying. I'm not negating that you feel that way or shouldn't feel that way.
I know.
We didn't have to carry two mortgages. Didn't have to rush.
I can't think of the last time I was so upset at a caller, honestly. Might go back to Kalen Eccles. No, yesterday. Go ahead.
We weren't really pissed at Kale. We were just amused.
I was
really pissed.
I was appalled at what he did. I never thought. I can't believe him. That was the most appalling thing I ever heard of. Oh my God. If someone wrote something like that about Suzanne,
he said that
I'd make a few calls.
He said it online.
I know.
You're right. Holy shit.
I would fucking, I just, God damn. Oh, the audacity. It's so fucked up.
Steph wants to go see a movie that's online.
I know, isn't it so weird? Movies are online now the same day. They'll be on HBO Max, and at the same time
She wants to
they're
go
in the
see this
theater.
at mine, but you know why? She loves the popcorn and sitting there and all that, so.
Oh, it's an experience. And let's face it, it's a big-ass screen. Is it playing in the Dolby?
You know, I think you're the one that told me about this fucking VR thing that I absolutely love.
Oh, they're unbelievable.
No, I don't have a whole system. This fucking thing.
Oh, it's the best.
Mark, I watch just regular Netflix sometimes. Did you know that?
Oh, of course.
On that big screen like you're in a ski lodge. I just watch.
And you can set the background, you can set everything.
And that, because
So you notice how they're a little slow,
mind,
though? You notice how some could be a little slow?
The Oculus?
Yeah, the Oculus. They have a brand new model out now. It's got 2-3 times the processor power.
But here's the deal. You know what I got into? I rented actually some story that you're a part of. You're like one of the team. Okay, so
what do you do for the audio? You got separate buds? Or do you get separate?
Hi, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Oh my God, what a busy day, right? But we still have time, thank goodness, because I have so much I want to talk about. We're done with everything. We're going to do a fresh start right now. Call with problems, questions, or complaints, 303-713-TALK, 713-8255. Deputy Doc, you want to talk about the tenant-landlord situation. So what's going on with you?
I have one comment. There was a federal judge who ruled that for federal contracts that the non-eviction clause was unconstitutional.
That was in Texas.
Right. So my question is, has anybody in Colorado, and if not, why not, challenged the rule in the courts? Have they made, has any...
No one's done it yet. No one's done it yet. I've been waiting.
Why is that?
I don't know, Doc. It's a good question, and I don't know. Here's the deal. It usually takes a while for cases to trickle to them and to use the precedent.
But it doesn't matter because the one in Texas, that judge didn't go as far as to say they can't do it. He made it sure sound that way, and he made it sound like they need to change it.
What did he say?
That's basically it.
What?
He basically said they really do need to change it, but he didn't go as far as to setting a precedent.
But he didn't uphold the eviction.
That part I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't remember that either. I got to look it up again. As I remember it, he did not uphold the eviction. And said that they could not interfere in a private contract. I think that was the thing.
Right. So why hasn't anybody taken it to court in any state?
I don't know. You know, it's a good one. I'll tell you what, Doc, something's got to happen with this eviction bubble. Something.
Of course.
I don't know what's going to happen. The bottom line here is there are going to be a bunch of people owing money, and they didn't save up that money. And what about all? I think a lot of these people. Hold on one second. I think a lot of these people, Mark, are saving up money to buy a house. But what's going to happen when they go to buy a house? They have a down payment now, right? But what happens if the landlord gives them a crappy credit rating?
Well, my God, you would think they would if they stuck the person with 20 grand or whatever.
But that's where I think the government. Remember, Biden and his team, and again, this is not a partisan thing, this is a reality. They have a vested interest to keep helping the people they set. Once you start feeding them, you can't just take away their food. They need that manna once you give it to them. And I don't know what they're going to do, Doc, but the answer to your question, I have no idea why they have not done that.
This guy right here.
Well, Tom,
hold on, Doc. Barker didn't issue an injunction, so that's why nothing became of that.
What did he do?
Well, he basically said it's unconstitutional, but without that injunction, the other party agreed to go through and do basically what the judge was saying, but because the injunction wasn't ordered, there really is no precedent set.
But that was only federal. We need a state. We need to have it done in Colorado to see why it's okay under Colorado revised statutes.
Well, again, it's got to be challenged. It's got to be challenged. Right. That's the bottom line.
Well, it's so odd you say that. It does have to be challenged, but think about it. You have a contract with another individual, and the government came in and changed it. It's never happened before. It's literally never happened before. It's crazy. And everybody knows if it goes to the Supreme Court, well, at least until it's backed, it would definitely get overturned.
People, here's another thing to consider, okay? Just listen carefully, because I promise you, I don't care. I'm not even going to say that anymore. It might be, it is a political statement, but it's not a partisan statement. No one should want one-party rule too much. The whole strength of our country is a diversity of opinion. We right now have everything, because people hated Trump so much. The people have hated Trump so much, the ones who voted against him, I'm talking about, that they wanted to just keep it, just get everybody in there Democrat. That I think that was the opposite of being on someone's tails. So what happened was you get everything Democrat. Now, here's what they're doing. If they pack the court, they're trying to assure themselves that court rulings will go their way by redrawing districts, putting D.C. as a state, Washington, D.C., and other measures. They're trying to assure that they will stay in power. They want to take away the Electoral College. And while you may agree Electoral College is antiquated, but if they take it away and we go straight by popular vote, basically big cities, which tend to skew liberal, will rule everything. L.A., New York, Chicago, Boston. You will have the popular vote. There would be no reason to vote because it would be impossible for the rest of the country to battle that. And so now this is what these are the consequences. We now have one party that is trying to make it impossible for another party to take hold. And I'm telling you that whether that party was Democrat or Republican, it's bad. And I can't believe that even that smart, straight-minded, intelligent Democrats would ever go for that even. I can't believe it, that they would want a country like that. Because I wouldn't want it, and I don't care what the party is. Anyway, we have more coming up on the Troubleshooter Show. Stick around.
I just cannot say that. There's too many fucking things going on. There's too many things that it's dangerous. It's just dangerous.
Right now.
Gotta talk about
the stop and go solid on the approach to Vasquez. Watch out for that. Delays in westbound I-70 in the elevated portion between 270 and the I-25 interchange. Watch out for as well. Up in the high country, Highway 6 closed in both directions in Clear Creek Canyon due to a crash. That's between Highways 58 and 119. No estimated time of reopening. And the right lane's blocked westbound I-70 at Georgetown due to a vehicle fire. Watch out for the delays there. Watch 31 pinpoint weather. Chance of snow showers today with a high of 36. Right now, light snow and 30.
It's fucking snowing. Are you shitting me?
6:30. K-House.
Right now at Wendy's, we're thinking a bacon double stack.
God, it sure looks like it's fucking snowing.
You know what? Why, if it snowed so much, was it so easy to get around today?
Shit, man, it was slippery as fuck where I came from.
No, but it was really wet and it got out of the way. You said it was slippery. I didn't know.
All through Castle Rock, man.
For some reason, she's had some very naughty and uncooperative teeth. Long story short, those teeth had to go. Fortunately, Kristen got
Lord! I gotta wash myself of sherry. Okay, I'm good.
Did you know she called back? Or I'm not taking her. Don't worry.
Listen, not only should you take her, you should date her.
I said you'd kill yourself if I did.
God. Lord, have mercy.
Oh.
Which are her original teeth and which are the new ones. And if anything, the implants are stronger and better than the originals. Kristen was overjoyed with the quality of care at Aspenwood, the kindness and friendliness of the staff, and you will be too. Whether you need implants or dentures, or even your regular checkups and cleanings, go where Kristen and I go, Aspenwood Dental. Learn more and get started with a free consultation at aspenwooddental.com. That's aspenwooddental.com.
Now, use the power of radio advertising to connect with customers around the corner and across the U.S. Introducing iHeart Ad Builder Nationwide, a new way to advertise your product or service from coast to coast. It's the ideal way to grow your company from a local web-based business into a company with customers all over the country. Use iHeart Ad Builder Nationwide to create your own custom radio ad quickly and cost-effectively. Just click, listen, approve.
Yeah, don't ever blame the 147 mass shootings on the lockdowns.
Hey, what license plate is your G-Wagon?
My G-Wagon's at the dealer, you motherfucker. It's being worked on.
What'd they find out with the AC?
The valve.
Are you serious?
Dead serious. They said we would have never looked there. That's what they told me. They said, you know what, we couldn't believe it. And guess what? It didn't even need replacements. It just needed tightening.
Oh, they're just like a bicycle one.
Can you believe that? No one fucking thought of it.
That was the biggest fucking comeback on AC.
Never thought of tightening that valve. That little fucking valve, it's this big. You know, when you unscrew it.
They're just like a bicycle valve. There's no fucking difference.
I'm consumer advocate Tom Martinez.
Mark, did you ever hear about in your motorhome something you used to do?
What?
Soft light windows.
Selling your tires with nitrogen?
No, I don't believe in that shit.
You know why?
Why do it or not do it?
Why people do it?
Well, they do it because it doesn't change. Well, hot or cold, it doesn't really change the pressure.
The molecules, I think, are supposed to be bigger and they don't leak.
Oh, I don't know. That could be true, but really, there's no purpose.
They don't go through the aluminum.
It was such a scam when it first started because everybody was charging for the fucking fill-up. It was ridiculous.
So you never tried it? You never cared?
Never gave a shit. Never gave a shit. Never.
How does yours work in the snow when you have the engine over the front?
You know, I haven't driven it too much in the snow.
Pushers are great.
I just haven't.
Mine, it's amazing how good my bus was in the snow. Oh,
they're so heavy, though. I mean,
yeah. And with the engine over that back, plus the whole thing's heavy.
Yeah, the weight is crazy. What is a weight in like one of yours? Mine is 24,000.
Yeah, mine was like
50.
Yeah, 50 something or 40 something. I forget. You know what? I'm trying to find all my old fucking pictures. I can't find them. My Google shit, I can't find. My Google pics. You remember before? Well, not you, but before I had Apple, Google has the photos, right? You have them on yours, right? And they back up to your Google.
I usually don't do that, but yeah, I know what you're saying. Like anything you take on your phone.
I could have sworn that I transferred all my Google to a folder. You know what pisses me off? I have 2 terabyte drive in this motherfucker, and I keep getting short. I was editing, and it says running out of space. That's why I did the OneDrive only online. I don't localize it. It's like, it's amazing how much space you take up and shit.
On the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to get your AC checked before it's too hot to bear.
Hey, Dave. Franktown was iced over all the roads, and then Castle Rock, getting to Castle Rock was crazy, man. It was slippery as shit this morning. I bet Kiowa was bad. I was shocked, man. I woke up going, holy shit. We'll get there on the double. Go, 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 go.
Tom Martino here, 303-713-TALK,
303-713-8255. Okay, so we have another hour to go, and I want your calls at 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255. Suzanne, you can give her referrals off the air for her to get. First, before she even gets an attorney, she needs people to evaluate structure and all that on her house. So she needs Eagle Home Inspections to begin with, and then he'll make recommendations. So that's where she starts. Eagle Home Inspections to outline all of her problems. And then, you know, that's who I would use. Did we ever get him?
I don't know if he goes to the Springs or not.
Okay, we'll find out. He'll have somebody. We have good home inspectors. And Eagle should be back on the referral list. I mean, he wanted to come back. I think he is. I don't know. He got off by mistake, actually. It wasn't even intended. But in any case, we also then have to figure out an attorney. And I would go to Frank. Maybe Frank Ball could do this. And if he won't, by the hour or whatever, then we go to, I'm thinking, the guy online.
I know, Tom. So all she has is 10 grand in her name. She wants to offer 10 grand to settle. Where does that leave any money for an attorney to
or for an engineering?
For anything.
Well, maybe someone takes a shot at it right now without any attorney. Maybe she goes to a la carte and asks him. Maybe she does, and explain the situation. Except here's the problem. Sherry's not going to explain it properly. So Sherry should call him and have him call us, and I'll explain it to him. Really, let him take a shot at it. There's nothing to lose. 303-713-TALK is our number, folks. We have another hour to go. If you get in now, I'll take you right away, 303-713-8255. I want to tell you a quick story. A woman, I didn't know it was a woman. Somebody comes, I'm not going to be able to tell you. I want to tell you about...
Is it the road rage?
It's what I call my road rage incident that I never thought I would have ever.
It's crazy.
Because I hate it. But I want to tell you what happened to me because I was humbled. And it's a good thing it wasn't somebody that was really crazy. I want to tell you what I did, totally. I want to tell you something I never thought I would do. I'm going to tell you. Ideal Home.
Okay.
With credit optimization in order to get even better rates. They all step wants me to call. You may not want to go back to 30 years. Pick whatever term you want. If you refinance or you purchase and rates go down, they will refinance you free of all lender fees. 303-867-7000. IdealHomeLoans.com.
The Wise Guys Crisis at the Border.
For terms and conditions, call 844-45.
Hi, I'm host Robin Roberts, and on a new podcast from iHeartRadio, COVID-19, Immunity in Our Community, we'll hear from Americans on the front lines and the doctors and medical experts who convince them and their loved ones to roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated. Listen to COVID-19 Immunity in Our...
You know, my doctor from Kaiser never fucking got back to me. Actually, I'm going to log in right now.
We can do this.
On what? What are you waiting for?
I asked her if I truly need to get the vaccine. It's exactly what I did.
#1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one.
I forget, that goes to my other email. Maybe she did answer me. Maybe she did, baby.
Indianapolis police say the shooter who killed 8 people at a FedEx facility was a younger male in his 20s. Police have not named the suspect and still don't have a motive.
When officers arrived on scene, there were...
Don't you find it strange they're not saying, was he a white dude, a black dude, anything? Why are they not saying anything? Do they not know?
Chaotic and active crime scene. Police get a gunman got out of his car and shot 4 victims in the parking lot at random, then went inside and killed...
Don't you think he was an employee?
I don't know. Did they say anything about it, Mark? I mean,
they won't even say who he is, what he was, anything. Nothing. Not an employee, not a ex-wife or nothing.
I'll bet you if you had a MAGA hat, you would hear about it.
He was wearing a MAGA hat.
Isn't that what that guy said that was beat up that one time? Jussie, whatever his name was?
Oh, yeah.
Hi, honey. You called me when I was on here, sweetie.
Russia said it's expelling 10 U.S. diplomats among other moves in response to U.S. sanctions announced this week. Those sanctions put in place to punish Moscow for interfering in the 2020 election and for cyber hacking at Britain's Windsor Castle tomorrow. Only 30 guests at services for the late Prince Philip due to the pandemic. Princes William and Harry not expected to walk together during the funeral procession.
It's really, I think, quite something that we're not going to see them side by side, given everything that has been said and understood about the significant disagreements between them.
ABC News World contributor Victoria Murphy. Coronavirus deaths in Europe outnumber those in the U.S., surpassing 1 million last week. Some good news, though. World Health officials reporting COVID deaths among those over 80 have hit an all-time low. Muslim worshippers gathering in Jerusalem today for Ramadan. About 70,000 faithful praying at Al-Aqsa Mosque. Pandemic lockdowns kept the holy site off limits last year. Lionel Moyes, ABC News.
I'm Dr. Baker, an ER physician. If you're having leg pain, swelling, or redness, but haven't talked to your doctor yet, don't wait. This could be deep vein thrombosis, a blood clot which could travel to your lungs and lead to a pulmonary embolism, which could cause chest pain or discomfort or difficulty breathing and be deadly. Your symptoms can mean something serious, so don't wait. Talk to a doctor right away, by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
That's forever on my body. Only super nigga when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
K-Hal News Time, 103.
If you had a vaccine appointment at Ball Arena today, all appointments have been canceled due to the weather. They will be rescheduled to next Monday and Tuesday. There's been no cancellations down at the Broadmoor in Colorado Springs. Colorado is in the midst of the 4th wave of the pandemic as state health officials hand over control of regulations back to the counties today. Dr. Eric France at the State Health Department believes case rates may be growing in part because now more young people are getting the virus.
Now the populations that need to be vaccinated are the younger adults, and it may be that while COVID is spreading, this is a population that has high rates of asymptomatic spread and may be unaware that they actually have it.
Health officials reminding folks that if you have symptoms, to get tested. It's free. Rockies capped off an 0-6 road trip at the hands of the Giants and Dodgers. They had a lead late last night, but fell 7-5. They are scheduled to play the Mets tonight at Forest Field. First pitch at 6:40. The Nuggets take on the Houston Rockets tonight. The Avs host L.A. That's the latest. I'm Chuck Clark.
Now, Impact Traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. From the Betfred Sports Traffic Center, seeing some volume flowing on 270 in both directions on your drive through Commerce City. Also sluggish on westbound I-70 between Havana and the Coliseum. And just a little bit of bunching on I-25 heading into the Stadium curve. There's a crash on southbound Highway 85 at 104th, and Highway 6 is closed through Clear Creek Canyon in both directions because of a crash there. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, cloudy this afternoon with a chance for some light snow showers tonight. Night will drop into the mid-20s overnight. More scattered snow continues tomorrow for your Saturday with a high in the low 40s. It's 36 right now in Denver. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Janine LaRose, 630 KL.
Express Employment Professionals matches people with the right skills with the right jobs, from the production floor to the front office. To find the right person for your job, you can't beat Express's incredible local support. Visit expresspros.com to find a location near you.
You know why I do commercials for SimplyFloorsInc.com? Because I personally use them. I'm consumer advocate Mark Major. If you're in the market for flooring, you have to check out SimplyFloorsInc.com. Not only do they have the newest LVT that's scratch resistant and waterproof, they also have the most beautiful lines of hardwood and carpet. They do free design services, and they can save you up to 40% from the big box stores. The best service, the best prices, SimplyFloorsInc.com.
Warning, this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. Say hello to Simple You Can Savor. Velo dissolvable nicotine lozenges are smoke-free and hassle-free.
I go back
They enjoy virtually anywhere. Why?
Yes,
Because
honey.
they dissolve, but the flavor doesn't. So go ahead and enjoy on your time and on your terms. Velo lozenges are available.
Oh, you did know how to fix it on Facebook?
Velo.com. Get yours now.
Okay, what am I talking about? What am I talking about?
All right, guys, back in about 15.
Oh, PEA. Got it. Okay, all right, I'll see you. Bye.
Then you can hear news and talk that impacts your life.
Getting 630 KPOW from iHeartRadio.
Denver's talk station, available on over 2,000 devices. This is the Troubleshooter.
Sending an outbound.
Now, Tom Martino, the Troubleshooter.
Hey, I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. 303-713-TALK, 303-713-8255.
This hour brought to you by Silver Leaf Mortgage. For your reverse mortgage, if you're 62 or older and you have equity, you can tap it tax-free. Use it for extra income here and there, line of credit, emergencies, vacations, whatever you want. Or you just want to pay off your first and not have a mortgage payment. You can even use a reverse loan to purchase a home. And get this, Silver Leaf Mortgage also has a nonprofit foundation that they can use to help you fix up your house to get ready for appraisal. Really. Even, listen to this, low cost interest, no cost interest, or sometimes a grant. SilverleafMortgage.com. Now listen. You shouldn't use them just for the nonprofit. I mean, you may not need that. But they're good people for reverses. 720-REVERSE. 720-REVERSE. Peggy, you got to be taken. I'll take you. You're on your lunch hour. What can we do to help you?
I received a HOA, a special assessment dated March 1st. The letter... It's from Peachtree Board of Directors.
What do they want?
Special assessment, $9,500.
Oh my gosh! Wait, Peggy! This could like throw me to my knees. What is it? Is it a special assessment? First of all, how long have you lived there? Let's go there. How long?
This is the whole problem. I closed December 30th, 2019.
Okay, so you've been there a year and a half almost, right?
Right. Well, a year. It was a year in January.
Whatever, right? You bought a condo a year ago. Okay. What happened?
Well, I got the letter for the special assessment for roof replacement.
And when was that loss, the date of loss?
2008, June 2018.
Now listen, do you know what? We had this same exact problem yesterday, and it's happening a lot. Here's what's happening. Let me explain this to you. People move into a condo development where there's been damage previously. They're not told about it. They close on it, and then they're socked with a special assessment. Now, there's beyond a shadow of a doubt, you are responsible for any assessment because you own it at the time the assessment is made. However, if the previous owner knew about it, they should have warned you about it, or it should have been a disclosure if they knew about it. The other thing is this.
You knew that you knew that the assessment was coming up, or do you say there's a possibility there may be an assessment?
Frank Duran believes even if there's a possibility, and I believe that too, it's there's no law on it, Mark. But definitely if they've discussed it, because it's coming. You just don't know how much. It's really not a law, though. That's the problem. But I think you'd have a good case against him if they knew about it. However, here's the other thing for Peggy. There's homeowners insurance that covers this if you have the right coverage. But this is how it gets complicated, Peggy. There's two ways those policies are written for special assessments, okay? One says they will pay a special assessment up to a certain amount if the original loss was when you owned it. The other one says they will pay up to a certain amount of the assessment if you own it at the time of the assessment.
Well, and the good part about that is, if you think about it, if the old owner had that coverage, she or he could go back in time and file the claim on theirs if it had to go that way. But the problem with that is most of these policies, Tom, only go up to about $2,000.
You said that the other day, Mark, and I never checked with Compass on that. Never. Let's get him back because... Do you recall him? What, Peggy?
You can have it at different amounts. You can have the HO6 at a different amount.
Okay, I want to ask you something. If you know that, then we don't have to ask. Do you have special assessment coverage? Let's do that first. Do you have that?
Yes, I do.
Next question. Does it go from the date of assessment or the date of loss?
That's the problem. Supposedly, the insurance company that I have is from date of loss, in which I didn't live there, so they're saying we won't pay it. And I talked to my realtor. My realtor said they knew nothing about a special assessment.
Hold on. He may not have known. Okay, your realtor may not have known. He or she may not have known. But what about the seller?
That's a tricky thing. I think she did, but when I called the lender and there was nothing, I'm looking at the paper right in front of me, nothing is mentioned.
I would sue. This is what I would do. I would take a shot at suing the previous owner in small claims court for non-disclosure. Then, hold on, my proof would be I would talk to the other owners to know if they've been discussing this. Now, listen, it might be a long shot, but I sure as hell, I would consider that something that should be disclosed.
And if they had coverage that would have been at the time of the disaster, if you will, then they can go back on their insurance policy.
I don't know if they can, because you know why?
Why couldn't they?
Here's why I'm thinking they shouldn't, or they won't, because listen, even though they had it at the time of loss, there was no assessment at that time until after they moved out.
I don't know.
And I think they would pay it if they're current owners, but I don't think they would pay it. Go ahead. We can ask Compass all of this. Let's get Compass on.
How much was your coverage, by the way?
My coverage is for 10.
Oh, wow.
No. My coverage, because it would have paid it, because it was for... my coverage is for 10 because it's for 95.46.
Damn. And who's your carrier?
State Farm.
Yeah, those jerks will never go extra mile. Nope.
But I asked at closing, I asked the lender, and there was nothing about it.
I would sue, I'm telling you, I would sue the former owner for non-disclosure in small claims court. I don't care.
What was the assessment for? I missed it.
For a roof.
Man.
Roof replacement.
Listen, Peggy, I want you to listen. I'm going to get Compass on, though, for a few questions.
What happens if
then I want to get Frank Duran on to see about disclosures.
It would be interesting to know if other owners knew.
Yes, Peggy. Ask around. Ask around. Okay, did everyone know it was coming?
I don't think so, because, it happened in 18. They filed in 19, and then it was in litigation for 2 years.
Peggy, we
just had a call on this one.
Mark, they were the same resident.
It has to be.
Same place. What's the name of your place?
Peachtree?
Yep, it's the same one. Yep, we had somebody else call. From, your homeowners are really all pissed off. I'm serious. You're not the only one. You guys, I'm telling you, I don't. But you know what? It's not like you're going to do anything because your HOA is you. I mean, you know, they're not.
The owners, though, the prior owners, know that the claim was turned in and know there's a lawsuit going on?
Yeah, but Mark, no, they wouldn't necessarily know there was going to be an assessment.
Or they wouldn't know how it's going to end up.
But I don't even know what was the lawsuit for, though. Because you don't. Why did they sue the insurance company? Do you know?
I don't know. I don't know. They just said it was in litigation. Because
I wonder. That's the point I want to make. I don't know what they would be suing for. Did the insurance company refuse to cover it? Maybe that was what it was.
That may be that. I don't know. But
do you know if do you know the $9,000? Is it toward the deductible or the entire job?
I believe the deductible.
So maybe the insurance company was trying to not pay.
How many residents are there?
It's 28 units. They want $9,546 times 28 units.
Yeah, that's $300,000.
In March,
do you know the name of the law? Do you know the name of the law firm that was representing you guys?
No, it was Travelers, is who they were in litigation with.
You just said it was Farmers. I thought no.
No, Travelers.
Yours is Farmers. I get it.
Mine is State Farm.
I get it. We have Compass Insurance on. We'll talk to right after this. I'm Tom Martino.
What is one clear choice for Combs? What is that all about?
Someone wants to look at line whatever.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
A mind control experiment gone horribly wrong. Back in the 50s, the government.
Did you do Joe? So we're doing Lazara and 888. Got it.
In broad daylight. 5 seconds. Here you go. Night climax on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't ever shop for a criminal defense attorney when you're under the pressure of a criminal charge. Even a DUI, that's a criminal charge. So you're saying, well, should I do that, Tom? Well, you should have a criminal defense attorney in your Rolodex. Do you know what a Rolodex is? That's stupid. You should have them in your phone. Listen, you should have them in your pocket. You need to be able to use an attorney at a moment's notice or refer someone. And you know, the person I know and trust for more than 30 years, Joseph A. Lazara, whether it's a DUI, shoplifting, assault, any public, whatever it is. Now, here's the thing, okay, disturbing the peace. The bottom line is this. You never know when that could happen. You may want to refer them to somebody, 303-429-6200.
What is this thing, a Rolodex? What is this now? A Rolodex.
Yeah, where you put your, 888.
Here's the deal. Some things irritate me. One of the things that irritates me is when a company says, hey, there's 20% off this TV. Well, what does that mean? If you don't know that the TV was $1,000, now it's 20% off to bring it to $800, it really means nothing. If you don't know the original price, what good is a discount? Everybody out there listening knows what I'm saying. Here's the deal. 888 Heating wanted me to start advertising $2,000 off a furnace and an air conditioner unit. I said, well, that's great, Garrett, but what does that mean to people? He said, well, that means you can get a new furnace and a new air conditioner for as low as $8,500. That's both units. Of course, it depends on the size of your house, but both units starting at $8,500. And on top of that, you can get 5 years, no interest. 5 years, no interest, and the lowest price you're going to hear. 888heating.com. That is their website, and 888-HEATING is their phone number.
Hey there, homeowners. Are you experiencing pipe leaks? Is your water bill unexpectedly high?
A Rolodex. Man, did you time yourself. Holy shit.
Do you remember that?
I'm not sure if my dad had a Rolodex. Yeah,
Palm Pilot.
Oh, man, there's a word you have to heard for a while. A Palm Pilot. What was he, you know who really fucked up? You got
BlackBerry.
Well, that's what BlackBerry. They totally fucked up. They owned it.
Of everything.
keyboard, texting, prior to anybody. Motorola had the flip phone. The BlackBerry had
Tell
everything.
me why they fucked up so much.
Tell me why Blockbuster fucking ruled the planet and then all of a sudden did it. I have no idea.
Tell me why.
No vision.
iPhone took over.
Oh, I'll tell you exactly why. Because they have cheap Chinese kids making that shit for free, committing suicide, and no one cares but me. Ask Ant if he's ever heard of a Rolodex. Seriously, I'm dying to know if he has.
Ant, do you know what a Rolodex is?
No fucking clue. No clue. I knew it. I knew it. Isn't that weird? It's
Mark,
a word.
right.
It's a word that anybody under what? What do you think? 30 has no idea what it is. No idea. My kids would have no idea. I guarantee they've never heard the word.
The government's Energy Star rating 7 years straight. Everlast siding, $6,500 off. The most durable color fast siding ever. And $1,650 off Provia entry doors purchased with storm doors. Some minimums apply. Call for details, 303-421-7100. Or make your own appointment now at khwindows.com.
K&H Home Solution has what you're looking for.
Hi, break time?
I know you.
I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself.
I do. I play tennis. Try to eat well.
What about screening for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yeah, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive results should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider.
You wanted Frank Duran too, so I have him as well for that special HOA assessment disclosure stuff, okay?
Which one?
Frank Duran, you wanted him for the HOA? Yeah, so I got that. I wonder if I should give that guy the garage referral there, do you think? Is it okay that I kill that, or did you want to do that on the air?
Which one?
The guy who wants the garage in Fort Collins, I was going to just give him the referral off the air?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah.
To sell, you pay 0 commission, and the buyer pays it all. Right now, Gay and Sarah have thousands of buyers in their buyers in waiting program that will gladly pay the commission, so you can sell your home with full service while netting more in your pocket. Just this week, the Groves fam were about to list with another agent. They spoke with Gay and Sarah, and the Groves ended up saving $13,000 in commission.
Oh, you're
money. Call Gay and Sarah.
Suzanne thought you were talking about a watch when you said Rolex.
Oh my God.
833-453-SOLD.
I think you can still buy them on Amazon. Can you believe that shit?
From the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer Weather System.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com.
I'm Fox 1 pinpoint weather meteorologist Carly Cassidy. More light snow showers throughout the day. Light accumulation. Temperatures are staying cold, mid to upper 30s, and north winds around 5 to 15.
Express Employment.
All right, back in about 15 seconds.
Skills with the right jobs, from the production floor to the front office. To find the right person for your job, you can't beat Express's incredible local support. Visit ExpressPros.com to find a location near you.
630 KHOW, an iHeart radio station.
I'm Tom Martino, your troubleshooter. Okay, we gotta get to Compass Insurance. I need to ask Jeremy a question. All right, Jeremy.
We're getting a number of these calls from this development. Apparently, a storm happened in 18, and a lawsuit ensued in 19 against Travelers, and Travelers is covering it, but there's an assessment for the deductible. It's amounting to nearly 10 grand per unit. My God, can you imagine getting that news? So, Peggy's got a policy that goes back to the date of loss, not to the date of assessment. She's just SOL, right?
Yeah, it's a tough one. We recently just looked at all of our companies, and all of our companies are date of assessment, but there are companies out there that are data loss, and so if she bought
she's farmers. She's farmers.
Okay. If her policy is data loss and she got that after the loss date, she could be in trouble.
Okay, so she
should go back to who did she have another company in 2018?
Well, why? Well, she wasn't there in 2018.
She just bought it, man.
Yeah.
She just bought it. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, is it possible? Hey, is it possible?
Oh, this is what we were going to ask. Go ahead.
So, Jeremy, if the person that owned it prior to her, that sold it to her, had coverage for the time of loss, not assessment, could they go back even though they don't own it anymore and hit their own insurance up?
Most likely not. If they're not the one actually being assessed, they don't have any insurable interest in the home anymore. I mean, it's worth exploring, but my guess would be no, that's not going to work.
Compass Insurance, home of the insurance checkup.
Wait, one more question.
303-996-9000. What is it?
Hey, Jeremy, I think Brian told me at one point that most policies come with special assessment coverage, but it's generally only $1,000 or $2,000 unless if you up it.
Correct. Yes, that's correct.
Got it.
All right. Now, Frank Duran, the realestateman.com. He's my foremost authority and good guy when it comes to real estate. I want to ask him a question. Frank, I would be pissed off if I moved into a condo. I bought a condo from a guy or a woman, buy a condo, right? And there was a storm there a few years ago, and they're expecting some kind of assessment, or there could be an assessment. So what can I do about it? Is there any kind of, any kind of disclosure for that, Frank?
Tom, it's good to hear from you. On the seller's property disclosure, there's a section, I believe it's item O, where you disclose you have an HOA if there's any special assessments, and quite honestly, if they're aware of anything that could be in the works. The other thing, too, is when we receive the covenants, conditions, restrictions, the minutes, the meetings, sometimes they'll show in the minutes and the meetings that they're discussing a potential special assessment coming up. So those are things to be very vigilant of, rather, the seller disclosing, of course, but of course for the buyer, when they're purchasing, they ought to be vigilant of those things as well.
I wonder what hers says on line O, like Frank just said. Maybe it was disclosed.
Frank, what do you do when you're buying condos for people?
Well, I tell you, my team, they're great people. We talk about this all the time. When we're working with buyers, we tell them up front, guys, be careful about this. We always use a phrase called be prepared for the situation. And that's one of the things we bring up all the time is be careful about special assessments or even pending lawsuits against the HOA. Those things are critical. So those are the things ahead of time we tell them to watch out for. So we sort of raise that red flag before it becomes a red flag.
Oh, I knew you would. Frank Duran, the realestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Peggy, do you have your original real estate docs from when you bought it?
Yes.
You got to go look at the disclosure sheet. Would you send us that some of that paperwork? No, we want to see specifically just the settlement statement and the disclosure statement, okay?
How would you? It's so weird to disclose something like that. So you're selling a house or you're selling your condo. There's been a lawsuit for 2 years. You have no idea if you'll have a special assessment, if they'll cover everything, if it'll be $110,000.
I'll tell you. Frank Duran, the real estate man, sold my condo.
Yep.
Frank, you sold my condo, a penthouse at Landmark. Is that right? And what you did was they were in a lawsuit for this very thing, for different kinds of things, but it had some effects, and we disclosed it. We simply disclosed it.
My question is, how did you guys value it? In other words, in negotiations.
You don't have to. You just say.
I know that. I'm just saying. Okay, here's where I'm going.
You don't value
She probably still would have bought it for the same amount is what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
Well, they did.
Yep.
So, but, Frank, they could say, oh, wait a minute, this could be this or that, right?
Yes, we make them very well aware of it, and you're right. They could say that, Tom, and they should always independently verify that directly with the HOA.
Okay, so the bottom line is, though, we get out of liability by simply telling them. And let me say something. That was just a lawsuit. I mean, Frank, didn't he want to disclose one time in your neighborhood some guy wanted to change the number on his house? Honest to God.
I had some guy when our house went up for sale. And I got to say this, the developer of the neighborhood was a moron. We were on Something Way. Something Drive was literally right next to us. And when they saw our house up for sale, they wanted us to change our address. And I said, well, we just listed it for sale everywhere in the world.
Why did they care?
Because UPS would constantly screw up, and they were afraid. Here's what they said. They were afraid. They were an elderly couple, and yes, I use the word elderly. They were afraid that they'd have to call an ambulance, and the ambulance would go to our house, and they would end up dead.
Now, Frank, you go overboard on disclosures, don't you?
Well, so I don't, that's a good question. I don't know that I can go overboard. I just think that you have to get it out there so there's never a question. Tom, when you sell a home, the goal is this. You close, hopefully everybody's happy. The goal is not to have a post-closing problem 6 or 8 months later. So I think if you can put these things on the table ahead of time, you eliminate a lot of those problems.
And that's why I'm serious. He's the best. I don't even know why other people. Okay, I mean, if you can use Frank, you should. Why would you use anyone? Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. Let's keep going. Now, let's talk to Mark. Right after Mark wants to talk about, or is it Amy? Mark or Amy, either one of those coming up, whoever's first.
KHOW. Is this going to be a big follow online free?
On our free iHeartRadio app, #1 for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Now,
this report is
I'm so
sponsored by
tired of these, Mark. This goes back to what you were saying.
Yeah,
I know. This guy does nothing wrong.
Just tell him I'll call him.
Westbound side, and there's a crash on northbound I-25 approaching 6. That's backing.
Mark, listen.
Yeah.
There's no reason to fucking shake up this. No. If they did something wrong, that's different.
There. Fox 31 point weather, cloudy this afternoon with a chance for some light snow showers tonight. We'll drop down into the mid-20s overnight. And then tomorrow for your Saturday, more scattered snow showers with a high in the low 40s. It's 36 right now in Denver.
I don't want to put it on the air like this thing, so tell me what's wrong. Get that fast injection. She's not legally blind. She's completely blind. And you took advantage of her? Basically, like, way overpricing, and then just she didn't understand what she was signing, but even her signature right through. Okay, well, they haven't done
And have a website, free. The folks at GetFoundFast.com, they're the same people Tom and I use for ReferralList.com. They're going to look at your website. They're going to tell you who's coming to your website. They'll even tell you the age, the sex. They'll tell you of everything that's visiting your website. They'll tell you about your Google panel. They'll tell you if your website is mobile friendly. They're going to give you so much information for free, it's going to scare you. Then they're going to explain how they can help you. And it all starts at GetFoundFast.com.
So listen, this is bullshit. She's blind. They took advantage of her. She didn't even know what she was signing. Listen,
I'll just call him. It's not a big deal.
But Nick's a great guy. He really is.
I know he is. Okay. I can't think of one complaint we've had. But let's see. I'll talk to him. I mean, you know what?
But Mark is expecting.
Until I test it, yeah, that's fine. Oh, he's not even the person?
No, it's the lady he's helping, a blind lady.
Okay.
I swear to God, I can't imagine somebody doing that.
Oh, my God. Remember the one we had? They sold 100% blind. Not legally blind. Blind.
What did they sell?
Fucking DirecTV. The guy went door to door, had him sign the contract for 3 years on DirecTV. And it was an independent thing.
Michigan shut down.
Uh-oh.
Is Michigan a Republican or a Democrat?
I don't know.
So that's the only way you're going to hear about it. If it's I guarantee you, it's not a Democrat.
No, I think Michigan is Democratic. It's too late. I mean, it's right on the East Coast. Just say, is it blue or red? Michigan, blue or red?
Or Illinois governor.
in less than 3 minutes. Get up and running with our fast start accounting. Just 3 clicks and you're ready to go.
You'll see.
Go to PatriotSoftware.com.
I can tell you this, you shouldn't sell DirecTV to a blind person.
Oh, he's Democrat.
No long-term
I stand corrected.
Listen, you're corrected all the time. Don't worry about it.
You want that, right?
Yeah. I'm shocked. Look, I'm shocked.
I'll tell you that it went away, and I didn't think it would. Mr. New York, I did not think that story would go away.
How did it fucking go away?
I don't know, but you haven't, I guess, you know, after 30 women, no one gives a fuck anymore.
No, wait, we haven't heard a fucking thing.
I know, it took about, what, 3 weeks? It went media silent.
Even then.
Everybody, it went media silent. It's crazy, man.
Not at all.
I guess once you hit 10 plus women that you fucked with, I guess people just don't care. They're like, oh, we already know that.
Frank, line 1 is just a little bit different question for Frank Duran, who's holding. But I've never heard of this. The HOA made a deal with the members. Their fees are going up. No special assessment. Does that need to be disclosed? So it's a little bit different.
Como had a news conference. Not one question. Not one question about the controversy. 2 hours ago.
Heat a man.
Isn't that?
Go to Blinkist.com/relax.
Now, if you parked in a handicap space,
/RELAX. If you've
you'd be run through the mud.
know it's a hassle. From the prep work to the open houses.
You use the word elderly.
What if I told you there was
And you're getting letters.
Well, go to Orchard.
Cuomo can, I don't know what he did, but he definitely pissed off 10 women in a lot of ways.
That means you never have to deal with
Oh, Lord.
double moves or double mortgages. And to make sure
He's right back on top. They're joking.
also handle major repairs or updates.
I wonder if he's settled with all these women.
A recent Orchard client said, with Orchard, we got our new home for $10,000 less. And got
You know, how much do you think a Rolodex is now? I'm talking the original Rolodex.
Didn't have to carry 2 mortgages. Didn't have to rush to move. And most of
They even make them.
Yeah, I'm staring at one. They're very generic.
Some of them are big.
No, this is just the standard first generation.
The ones that go like this is a slide deck.
Look,
Not a roll.
Look at this.
A true Rolo.
I'm hiding the prices.
Yeah, those are Rolodex.
It is it's the original. What do you think those are?
$16.
Fucking $35. It's got to be just because I was going to get a gag gift for you of one, but I ain't spending 35 plus shipping. I figured they'd be $4, or China would have knocked them off for $1.
Speaking of gifts, by the way, that wine, don't think that's not good. That's good wine. Not that you give a shit, but it's good wine.
It is? Okay.
No, it is. It really is. It wasn't like...
So pour it in a glass?
No, you will like it. Not in a solo cup.
No solo cup?
You treat their listeners with the disrespect that I do, their ratings would shoot through the roof.
70 said she would have been... we should have gotten beer. Hello, Tom Martino, your troubleshooter here, and we're going to...
go to Paula, who has a question for Frank Duran, therealestateman.com. Go ahead, Paula.
Hey, Tom, how are you?
Good. What's your question?
So, in my condo, my association encumbered us for a re-siding job for like $2.5 million, and we didn't get a special assessment, but our HOA dues are ratcheting up significantly.
Yeah, because none of it was covered by insurance because it's ordinary maintenance.
Right. So I guess the question is, do those payment increases need to be divulged on a real estate form?
Does what have to be divulged?
The fact that our HOA dues are going to double over a course of like 5 years.
Oh, you mean that's something everyone knew?
Correct.
Like there was a meeting where they laid out a schedule of HOA fees.
Yes, and we have paperwork on it. Yeah.
Because after I sold my condo, they doubled. They're almost $4,000. And we absolutely did not know that. No one knew that. It's such a piss poorly run place, but that's too bad that that happened. But Frank, that's a great question. If you know your HOA fees are going up, what do you do with that?
That's a great question, Paula. You know, Paula, in the seller's property disclosure in Section O, basically it says special assessments or increases in regular assessments approved by Owners Association but not yet implemented. So you would disclose that on the property disclosure.
My gosh. They have, Frank's got that memorized.
He's like an encyclopedia.
Listen, Paula, did you look at the disclosure?
Well, I've been an owner here for 20 years, so I didn't need to, but I was just concerned. We have a lot of new people buying places, and a lot of them have no clue.
Okay. They should have been told, as Frank said, in Section O of the disclosure statement. Frank, are they required to use that disclosure?
Tom, technically, no. The seller has the right to say no, but then again, that does not take away the fact that they still must disclose adverse material facts.
Okay.
And that would be one of them for sure.
I get it. So, Paula, you might want to go stir some crap.
We had a good one time in condos. There were 2 ground floor condos. The caller called in, said, I just bought this. On the disclosure, they said nothing about water damage. It turns out there's a ton. Well, the neighbor right adjacent to him had the same flooding issue that guy had, and they got all the money back from that freaking seller. All of it.
Very interesting. So, Frank, what would you say is the most common non-disclosed issue, whether it's done on purpose or by mistake? What is the most common non-disclosed issue that you've come up with over your long, distinguished career?
Well, Tom, that's a good one. Off the top of my head, I would have to say something like maybe deferred maintenance that the seller either forgot about to disclose or maybe didn't think it was that important. That's why we tell every seller.
What do you mean deferred? What do you mean deferred maintenance? You mean that's not even? Is that even a disclosable item?
Let's say there was a leak somewhere and it caused some water damage, but they didn't take care of it. But yet they need to disclose there was some water damage at some point. On the property disclosure, it'll say something like, was there something ever existing? They'll use the word ever existing. Something like that should be disclosed. Sometimes that gets neglected. I haven't seen a lot of that, Tom, to be honest, but when I have seen problems like that, it's because of things like that, where they think they don't have to disclose it, but they really should.
Hey, Frank, certain things like, let's say a black couple's looking for a house in a cul-de-sac, and they happen to know a neo-Nazi or some crazy guy lives next door. Is that something that should be disclosed? Or how about a gay couple and someone that can't stand gay couples is moving in?
Or no, now that you bring that up, let's just call it in general an adverse condition. Like, let's just say somebody's moving in to a neighborhood and there's some adverse thing like that, like a KKK member, a Nazi guy.
Yeah. Or someone that's got dogs next door that never stop barking.
I don't know. We can get crazy here, but
some of that stuff gets into very, very muddy waters, guys.
It does.
Thank God I've never ran into something crazy like that. My gosh. Something like that would...
Frank, I'll never forget the time that there was a guy let's say, picture this, Frank. You're showing a home. It goes up for sale. This guy is now this guy wants out of the neighborhood because he doesn't like his neighbor, because his neighbor plays loud music and his neighbor has parties. Now listen to this one.
I love this story.
The neighbor, his name was Terranova, I believe it was. He was Ted Terranova's son. I only mention that because I knew Ted from years and years and years ago. He was an HVAC guy. Anyway, he posts, this guy, the neighbor, Terranova, posts a sign that says, I am allowed, something to the effect, I'm a loud, obnoxious neighbor who plays.
It was a banner.
I play loud music and have parties or whatever. Get used to it or whatever, or be warned. And he, at first I think, what a jerk this guy is. But then I really think about it. He wasn't trying to spoil the sale. What he was saying is, I don't want them to be complaining about me like this guy was.
He was giving them a heads up.
I want him to know straight up. Now, what about that, Frank? What would you?
Tom, again,
what would you do if if you were moving because you hate your neighbor and you know damn well he has a rock and roll band that practices every night?
If I was selling my own house,
yeah,
Tom, I would disclose it. I would actually have.
Would you really? You would really?
I sure.
Well, Frank would. That's him. But I'm saying, are you required to disclose that, Frank?
Yeah.
I don't think you are, but I think this is a situation where you've got to have a good talk with that owner before you list the home. But technically, I mean, there's no law that I know of, guys.
Okay, last one. I know you're giving me that eye. Listen, Frank, I heard in some states if someone died or was murdered, they call it a murder house, and you have to disclose that. Is that true? And is Colorado one of those?
Or a gruesome crime house, yeah.
So something that stigmatizes the property, if I'm representing the seller, no. If I'm representing the buyer and I have knowledge of it, I would tell my own buyer.
But it's not required.
Do some states require it?
Other states, I don't know, Mark. That's a great question, though.
Like, for example, if there's a house and it's an Amityville horror, and you know there are demons in there, and no one's done.
Now you're getting ridiculous.
Okay, but Frank, there have been lawsuits like that. You didn't tell me it was possessed or something, and it's crazy. So that's why you go above and beyond, and you try to disclose anything that you think might be a problem.
Well, things like that, guys, yeah, that's a good point. I think that where something like that would come into it, to just have to be really good communication with your seller and just go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. I agree with you, and I know that's how you operate. We got to take a break, Frank. Thanks. Frank Duran, therealestateman.com, 303-920-1622. We can, help Amy if she wants to hang on the line. If not, we can take her on Monday, and if anyone else calls in, I'll try to squeeze your call in. But I want to tell you a story. I'm driving down the street. A car is coming down in the middle, so I figure I'll move over to the right. The car starts coming toward me head on. It's a street where we're going about 15 to 20. It's a very slow street. Finally, I'm coming up on parked cars and can't go over anymore. This person aimed at me. I had to get off and pull off behind a parked car to shield myself. They didn't hit anything, but kept going, and I got so pissed off. I beeped and beeped and beeped. I normally don't honk like that, but I was doing it out of safety. But then I slammed on the brakes, and I did something I have never done in my life. I have turned around, and I went after them, and I'll tell you what happened coming up.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com.
From the Bedford Sports Traffic Center, 270 heavy on the drive through Commerce City, especially on that westbound side, and a crash on northbound I-20.
I never do that, Mark. Could be a big MMA fighter walk out.
Or a small MMA fighter.
Westbound I-70 sluggish between Havana and the Coliseum, and we have a report of a crash on westbound I-70 at Washington. Fox 31 pinpoint weather, cloudy this afternoon, a chance for some light snow showers tonight. We'll drop into the mid-20s overnight, and then tomorrow for your Saturday, more scattered snow with a high in the low 40s. It's 36 right now in Denver. With your impact traffic and weather, I'm Janine LaRose, 630 KHAL.
Express Employment Professionals matches people with the right skills with the right jobs, from production floor to the front office. To find the right person for your job, you can't beat Express's incredible local support. Visit ExpressPros.com to find a location near you.
Hey, reality check here. Will the numbers add up for your retirement plan? Let's hear from the experts at Allworth Financial. When we're under 59 and a half, we have all these restrictions on when we can take money out. When we hit age 72, we have required minimum distributions.
I think we're good. I think we're all good, Frank. Thanks for all your time today. I know you're busy. You too, and back at you, Frank. You have a good one. Bye.
Immunity in our community. We'll hear from Americans on the front lines and the doctors and medical experts who convince them and their loved ones to roll up their sleeves and get vaccinated. Listen to COVID-19 Immunity in our community, the iHeartRadio app, or wherever you get your podcasts. We can do this. You don't need a referral to get If you drive a car, truck, SUV, or vehicle of any kind, then you need the Get Upside app, the free gas app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy. People all over America are earning as much as $300 a year in cash back just by buying gas.
I always use the Get Upside app. Some months I make $200 to $300.
I love the Get Upside app. I get free money for things I do every day.
There's no cash. It's real money, and you get your cash back right away.
Download the free Get Upside app now in the App Store or Google Play to save up to 25 cents a gallon when you buy gas. Use promo code CASHBACK for a 25-cent a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's up to 50 cents a gallon cash back on your next fill up. Cash out anytime using PayPal or
How does that happen? I don't know, man.
Starbucks and other brands. Earn cash back with every fill up. Download the free Get Upside app
Now
and
who
use
clicks
promo
on
code
this?
CASHBACK.
Yes,
Promo code
Johnny
CASHBACK.
Carson couldn't stand. Now, who would click on that? Do you even know who Johnny Carson is?
Turnover can turn your business upside down.
How old are you yesterday? How old are you yesterday?
Like yesterday, this online tie company to avoid back orders, you need to get started hiring right away.
That's good, man.
Indeed, you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
As a dentist, I know what my patients are saying during times when they really can't speak. She says her gums are irritating. Is there anything you can do? Absolutely. You can try new Crest Advanced Gum Restore.
Clickbait. That's clickbait.
Yep, new Crest
You don't
Advanced
even
Gum
stick
Restore.
with that.
It detoxifies below the gum line to restore your gums back to health in just 7 days. Exactly. Healthy gums, healthy mouth.
That's pretty funny.
New Crest Advanced Gum Restore. Healthy, beautiful smiles for life.
This year, staying home has taken on a whole new meaning. But a new color and a fresh coat of paint changes everything. You can trust CertaPro painters to handle every detail. Listening, prepping, and painting worry-free. Get a free estimate from CertaPro painters today. Times may have changed, but CertaPro painters' local service and expertise remains the same. To get your painting project started, go to CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C.
Just showing off the air in 92. I remember that night.
6:30 KHOW is your chance to win one.
I fucking remember it.
Listen at 5
What's
past
that?
the hour for the
When he went off the air.
Carson,
the keyword and enter it on our website.
you tell you what, talk about a guy, he said, I'm stepping out, I'm retiring, I'm getting out of the spotlight. He was gone, brother. You realize that, man? I think he spent his last days on his yacht. Who? Carson. I mean, he didn't come back. He didn't do interviews. He went away.
No, he became a recluse.
That's what I mean.
Do you know what kind of car he had? DeLorean. Did he really? Hi.
Tom Martino here, your troubleshooter, 303-713-TALK. Amy, what's going on? What is Rocky Mountain Tanners? Oh, let me tell people about my road rage after you, so I don't want them to go away. So, Amy, what happened with Rocky Mountain Tanners?
We had an Elkide. We took it in on November 27th of 2019.
Okay.
They said it would be ready in October of 2020. We didn't hear anything from them, so we drove by there. The place is closed down. The website says they're closed.
Where are they located?
Yep.
Were they located?
They were in Commerce City.
Oh. We had
Suzanne.
another one that had same issue.
So I started working on this, and their website says they're taking no more projects, so I messaged them on Facebook to see if we could get her resolved. The only problem is when I look at their Facebook page...
It's not updated, is it?
No, she's not the only one.
Oh, God.
So...
You know what, Amy? Here's the good news. You have the power of the show, and we're going to put the word out. And then we're going to do it again on Monday, and we're going to see if we can get people who know people who know people. And a lot of times, believe it or not, it pays off. Not all the time, but a lot of the time. So somebody might say, yeah, he put his inventory here, or the landlord has it, or whatever. But let's start right now. It was called Rocky Mountain Tanners. It was located at what address?
I'm not exactly sure. I know it was in Commerce City.
Okay, Rocky Mountain Tanners. Commerce City.
I got the address.
Okay, you got the address?
5725 East 56th Avenue.
5725 East 56th Avenue. Okay, now we're going to work on this. I promise you. Let's talk about the guy's name. What's his name?
I don't have a name on here.
Okay. And it's Rocky Mountain Tanners. Okay, so hang on. And Suzanne, get her information for Monday. Anybody who's had anything or knows anything, try to get his name, Amy, if you can. Meanwhile, I'll have maybe one of our deputies look at the property, talk to the landlord. Suzanne, can you give that to Deputy Dan? And maybe he can check that out for us.
Now, I want to hear about how this guy kicked your ass.
Okay, so I never do anything like this. Let me promise you that. Never. This person's coming down, aiming at me almost in the middle of the street. I pull over. They start coming toward me. I know I'm going to get hit head on, 15, 20 miles an hour. I pull behind the parked car. I'm beeping like crazy, and the person goes past me. I whipped a U-turn faster, and then on the way I said, Tom, you know you could be killed, you could be shot. You never do something like this. Why are you doing this? And I said to myself, you're just going to take a picture of the license plate. Maybe this person is drunk and you're going to turn him in. But don't confront him. I knew I would not confront him. I don't want people thinking I'm that crazy. So I then noticed that the car pulled over and was waiting for me. And I thought, oh, this is something. Probably an MMA fighter is going to get out and kick my ass. But I wasn't going to confront the person anyway. I was just going to take a picture. So I pulled up, and I obviously took the picture through my windshield. I wanted them to see me taking the picture. So if it was someone that wanted to try something, but I knew if they got out of their car, I would leave. I wasn't going to confront anyone, and I don't encourage it. But I was so angry. My heart's beating fast. And I noticed then the person starts opening the door. And I'm thinking, oh, no. So I pulled up alongside. I figure it'll be safer if I speak through the open window on the passenger side. So I pull up on, alongside them. I use the electric window, the window, and open the passenger window. It's tinted, so I couldn't clearly see until finally...
It's someone you know.
She puts her window down, and she looks to be about 80, 82, white hair, the cutest little woman there, very dressed up. She was out. And I said, she goes, yes. And I said, listen, you really are going to get hurt if you're not paying attention. You were driving down the middle, and I don't want you to be hurt. I felt like an idiot. So I was really sorry. I said, so please, will you look where you're going and make sure you drive on the right side? She goes, thank you. I appreciate that. And then I took off, and I thought, oh, my God, what an idiot.
So she didn't kick your ass.
I was ready for bear, and I see this sweet little lady. Anyway, save all your problems for me.
Mark, I want to tell you, son of a... That is funny. What would you have done?
I don't chase people.
No, Mark, I swear to God, I can't believe I did it. Mark.
When we first moved here, so it was probably 94, somebody cut me off. I got upside next to him. This was down on Hamden and basically Wadsworth. And it was an old van. I got up next to him, and I'm screaming out my window, and you know what they did? The guy fucking raises a gun like this, and that was it. Never did it again. I was probably 22 years old.
God almighty, Frank.
And that was before road rage was road rage.
No, Mark, I swear to God, when I turned around, I knew I wasn't going to confront you. I wanted to take a picture of the license plate because I was convinced they were going to kill somebody.
You see this shit all the time, though. You just got to don't do it.
Do you know I see it more than anything now? What do you think I see more than anything? Fucking people at fucking night without any lights.
I don't see that a lot.
Oh my God, I see it so much. It's like, and they have a dark car, you can't fucking see them for anything. And I go to pull out,
You got to wonder why.
They're stone.
Oh. My lights turn on automatically, don't yours?
That's mine. They're day runners, and then they automatically switch. And
mine even do high beams.
Automatic high beams?
Yep.
What are you talking about?
Automatic high beams. They go on and off.
What you mean, Willis?
I bet Mike's got auto high beams, do you?
I think Mike's.
What does that mean? You automatically switch to high beams when you're not.
Yeah, and then when it sees a car coming, it brings them down to level. We don't drive cheap-ass Mercedes around.
That's right. We got cool cars.
You know, now they want to do away with electoral college. They want to do away with, you know what the filibuster, I swear to God,